good looking chop, see? Yeah.
Have a chop, G.
Have a chop. Hey,
I got a chopped cheese.
Can I go to
Let me get a pack of American spirits and a chopped cheese.
Hey, let me get a chopped cheese on the roll.
Let me get that bacon, egg, and cheese. The Aki way, see? The Aki way.
Let me get it the Aki way.
Let me get a chopped cheese the Aki way. And make it fast.
Everybody knows there ain't no way but the Aki way. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Uber driver, step on it.
Yeah, see?
Follow him.
Take me twice around the block, see? Step on it.
Follow that young girl with the statue.
Follow that car.
Yeah.
And
Y'all ever
step
play
on it.
LA Noire?
Dude, that game's hard.
Yeah, the one where you have the facial recognition.
That game
shit.
is ass to me. and I
You guys ever play LA Noire?
well, I hesitated to say ass because I felt like it could have been amazing, actually. But it was just the shit that frustrated me was literally, where you'd be in a situation like at a crime scene, and then you have to like guess whether or not they're lying, like what their actual motives are, and the faces are so. It's like who could fucking guess?
know?
Right.
Oh no,
could
no, no.
know?
Yeah, but the tells
They'll be going like this. They'll be going.
Is he lying?
It's like they got
They'll
that
be like-
that game rhythm where they're just kind of cycling through, just like
Yeah. Everyone's making the most like suspicious face.
And it's
ever.
like Uncanny Valley too. The
Yeah.
graphics.
Like a
so it's even
Zemeckis
more
movie.
It was
weird.
PlayStation 2 though. That's why when I played it, I thought this shit was fucking.
Was that PlayStation 2?
No, it was 360.
Noire?
360.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, 3.
This shit was on PS2. Oh, fuck.
It might have been. It might have been.
It may,
early.
yeah, maybe it could have actually been
Maybe.
on PS2.
Oh, fuck.
Because in the in between, they would have.
yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it was just that generation. But yeah, I remember being really excited for that game.
I was excited too.
And then it came out, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just failing at this."
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think I ever touched
I
that
remember the black people in that game. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
They would always be like mechanics.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, they had the full body like mechanic suits on.
I don't know nothing about no
You're like, fucking why? I think this guy's like an X.
LA Noire. This is massage noir, man. Wrong word. Wrong word.
Oh, you talking about old Vinny? Yeah, he used to come around here on weekdays.
Yeah, they should have had at least one brother in there who was just like, I don't talk. I don't answer. I don't answer
Right.
questions.
I don't talk to cops.
Yeah, I don't answer
Yeah.
questions.
Is he lying?
Is that the one where you used to have to get gas?
You might have.
There was like a.
I don't think so.
There was a game like that where you used to have to get gas. Like if you had a car, it would run out of gas.
That is. Oh, I fucking hate those games.
Or maybe I think maybe I just had a weird neighbor who I would play with because he
fuck?
used to stop to
Stop
get
and
gas, but like never
Imagine
do
playing
anything.
Grand Theft Auto. He's like, hold on, nigga. I know I got 5 stars, but I got.
Right. No, I had a
Gas is down 50 cents today. I got it.
When you said that, it reminded me of how those super realistic games. You remember Grand Theft Auto 4?
Yeah.
They were trying to be. They were trying to make the game super realistic.
Yeah.
And so they made the walking animations too realistic. So when Nico walked down the stairs,
Yeah.
this nigga would literally,
Right.
you would feel
Right.
every step. I was like, I don't need to feel
I
this.
miss that though. To me, that is peak physics, like game physics. I miss someone just getting hit by a car and then just
Ragdoll physics. That's not.
no. But even like walking, it's like this thing of it's more fluid. Even if it's not realistic, it feels
Yeah.
more fluid.
like
you know?
I love the
it's
shit
just-
where they just like no clip down the whole staircase. You know?
yeah. One leg bends like this, and then they just get down.
They T-pose down.
The camera was detached from the vehicle too, so you'd have to keep changing the like. It
Right.
wasn't-
Oh yeah, it was
right,
two
right,
different
right.
axes or whatever.
Yeah. So you used to have to like turn left as you turned left. That shit was
Yeah.
hard.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that
No.
shit is.
I
no.
just feel time going by, so I'm like, nigga, I only have so much life on here.
Yeah.
Go walk, nigga. That's,
Right, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, bro, I was. I think I mentioned it before, but I used to play. I used to play True Crime Streets of LA instead of Grand Theft Auto because my dad said I couldn't play Grand Theft Auto. He never said games like Grand Theft Auto.
Loophole.
So, and I had a friend, I had a neighbor named Dion who I used to play with, and my dad hated Dion. He used to be like, "No, you don't go over that boy's house. Dion on some fuck shit. You don't go over."
Dion, that's a name.
Dion is a
Dion.
yeah. Yeah, and I remember I used to go to his house, and he would always stop to get gas.
Apologies to all the Deons.
Right? Apologies to Dion. I'm sorry to Deion Sanders. I'm sure you're a fine coach.
He became a great man.
Right. But this nigga Dion.
I know Deion Sanders. Fuck shit. What?
No, but this nigga Dion, he used to stop to get gas, and he would only kill white people in the game. He explicitly said, "I don't kill."
He had a code.
He had a code.
That was his code. Yeah. You know, when you're a kid, you're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna hit people on the street." This dude's code was, "I'm only killing white.
I only kill white people."
I knew a kid whose dad was chief of the fire department, and his friends would kill the firemen in Grand Theft Auto, and he'd cry about it. He would take it personally.
He cried.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Stop it!" In like third grade.
Damn, that's some
I'm just
kids
thinking,
are good.
I'm just thinking
Kids
about.
are good.
I'm thinking about Dion. Like, how does he get through the story? Like when it hits it, when you have to kill a white person in the plot. Like, this is just the game's over for me.
He just looks like Wesley Snipes and fucking his Nino Brown, just like that crime memes.
I meant like if there's a black person in the plot.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
That's what-
It's just a lot of hesitation.
Yeah.
It's like that meme when you got to kill Tony Hawk in the race war.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. I
Yeah.
would 100% do it. I'd be like, nigga, tweet out someone didn't know you were Tony Hawk one more time. Have you seen? He's like, someone didn't. Shut the fuck up, Tony Hawk.
They know it's a bit now.
Hey, a race war. I don't need to wait for the race war to want to shoot you. I'm sorry,
man,
Tony
he
Hawk.
just-
I've
The
been-
screenshot
He just broke his
like a
legs,
pack of
man.
condoms,
Come
like,
on.
look at all these times.
I'm going after Dion's Tony Hawk. Let me relax.
Yeah, bro, chill. Tony Hawk didn't do anything to you. He just broke his legs.
I know.
He's in recovery.
Oh, he really did break his legs.
He really broke his legs, and he did his last 900 ever.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
shit.
That's just old age.
That
shit, like-
documentary on HBO is fucking crazy because it
Yeah.
starts out and they're like, Tony sucked. Everyone hated him.
Yeah.
He was annoying to everyone.
It's like his
and then
dad-
he found skateboarding.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like,
And then it was like his dad ran the tournaments, and everybody hated his dad because he was a dick.
And he was like a veteran. Like,
Yeah.
he was like a ex-Marine.
they
type.
said
Yeah.
Tony sucked. Didn't he start when he was like 12?
No,
Yeah.
like he like was annoying. Like he was
Oh,
really
so-
difficult child.
Yeah, right.
And then he was like he matured really fast when he
He's
got into
literally
skating.
peak 90s X game, that 90s like fucking Bart Simpson culture. He's like that, so I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
When you're 90s poster child, oh, he was Bieber before Bieber.
Did I say this? I don't know if I did before, but like he in that doc you find out like he was on top of the world like 89 when he was part of the Bones Brigade. Like he's in France, he's touring the world, and then suddenly no one gives a fuck about skateboarding.
Yeah.
He goes broke, literally has to take like a part-time job, and
Yep.
then like until like the X Games come back or start. Then he gets another career, and then the video
Then the
games
game.
come
Oh,
out,
Then the game.
and he's a fucking multi-millionaire like
Yeah.
overnight.
Yep.
Like,
Damn, that's
Yep.
and in that documentary, they got footage of him doing the original kickflips and shit.
That's
Yeah.
just fucking badass. I'm
Yeah.
like, damn.
No, that shit is wild, man. How they used to just the way the kickflip evolved, you used to have to just like stick a little foot under the board and like actually flip the shit over, and then Rodney Mullen was like, nah.
Yeah. And then one of the Bones Brigade's guys did a 540 for the first time. I swear I maybe said this already, but
Oh yeah, and then it became
my life's
like,
blurring together nowadays.
well, then it
but-
became like the one trick you have to do. If you can't do
Exactly.
a 540, you're no
Right.
reason to enter this shit.
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
It
y'all are
was
making
like-
me realize there was a universe I could have been a black skater.
Oh yeah,
I'm seeing
Yeah.
the parallel. You
you could have been what's the dude's name that we were looking for that one time? Dude who invented the ghetto bird. What's his name?
I'm
the
gonna forget.
helicopter?
I'm gonna forget his. He did shit with Shake Junt.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not gonna remember.
yeah. I think we were looking.
I was like neurotically fixated on remembering this dude's name, and
Yeah.
I
The black,
And
the
then we
famous black
found-
skater from back in the day. Like
No,
Yeah.
no. He wasn't. It wasn't Terry.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I
No,
know.
no, not him.
Yeah, but we found his name, and then Z was like obsessively trying to find his like what company he worked for, and now it's the other way around.
Oh yeah. You know, now I can't. Now I can't remember.
Now you can't
Right.
remember. That.
yeah.
Right.
No, fucking black. That's like a that's like a genre of nigga that I always wanted to be, but I could never fucking. I barely could get a bike, so a skateboard. That's like something you know your parents ain't gonna buy you anything extra.
Yeah.
So skateboarding was like an extra that I knew my mom wouldn't go buy. So I never got to go in that, but I feel like that's something I want to do.
Yeah. I mean, like, I had a skateboard when I was in middle school, but I never learned how to ride it till I was 29. So like,
That's right.
Oh yeah, no, I
Yeah.
see your yeah.
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 But you're skating because you go from place to place.
Yeah.
And like to me, it's like I hit like a pothole and I'm fucking dead.
I mean, if I hit a pothole, I'm dead.
Right,
still.
right.
Antoine Dixon.
Antoine Dixon. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys, you get.
I was into all this, by the way, as a kid, and I skateboarded as a kid. Yeah.
Wait, what made you get out of it? Because the thing that used to scare me about black skaters was their proximity to white culture. And
Right.
I'd be like, they're gonna say they're usually the ones to be like defend some goofy shit. And
Right.
I'm like, I don't want to be that nigga.
Yeah. Right.
But
it's like the dude, what's his name now?
It got too hard to answer your question. Yeah. No, I literally there's pictures of me when I'm like 3 or 4 with the skateboard, and I basically would do it on and off until I was like 10, 11, 12, and then I was just like I'm not gonna have a career in this.
Right.
So I'm not doing it anymore.
not doing it.
I tried it for a little bit. I longboarded down a long hill, and I did that thing where you almost bail, where you just get off and you do really long steps. I was like, that terrified me. I'm done.
Fuck no.
This is him, by the way.
I think I've seen this guy before.
Yeah.
He's a skater? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
See, if I had people like that to look up to when I was younger, I probably would have gotten into skateboarding.
Yeah.
This fucking
I mean, they existed.
nigga with face
Extreme minority, but
Yeah.
It seems like it's like overall skating is just like a complete vocation. Like it's like a curse. Like you can never stop.
Yeah.
All those guys like never. They'll do it till they
Yeah, that
paralyze themselves.
I knew some amazing skaters that they got too many injuries at a certain point, and they made the decision that, you know, I'm gonna preserve my body and just stop this.
It's just
I'm
like,
glad we all have interests that don't hurt us.
Yeah.
Because
Not in that way, not physically.
come on, man, you gotta move up. You gotta move off the skateboard. Go to bicycles. Like,
and then you get a car.
yeah,
and then,
niggas
Tour de
don't just
France.
sell weed. They move up to coke. You gotta go fucking. You gotta move from skateboarding to bike. That's what I don't know. I actually want to get an electric bike, but that's neither here nor there. I've been looking into purchasing an electric bike. They're like $2,000 because
it looks super convenient.
It's like
Fun.
a bitch motorcycle. That's what I feel like. Like I don't want to get a motorcycle, but I would get this electric bicycle.
Kareem Campbell from
shit.
Tony Hawk. This is
Campbell,
who y'all are probably thinking of.
Yeah.
The one black man.
Yeah,
Was there
why?
literally only one black skater in the Tony Hawk? I'm pretty
I
sure
think
Kareem
so,
Campbell
yeah,
was
it
the only
Kareem
one.
Campbell, and then Terry was the only one that showed
why
up
they
in
give him-
Jackass.
Right.
And they called him Black Ass Terry because there's no other.
Terry skated with ice cream with the.
Yo, I want to give this nigga a COVID test. Why they take this picture? Let me just while you here.
Let me just give you a light swab.
Let me just put that camera all up in that.
Yeah, that was foul. I could have found a better picture. Sorry, Kareem.
Right. Let me just give you a.
That's like the default one too. That's like the
That's the
main
first-
one.
the Wikipedia.
The Wikia. It's like a Wikia.
man.
Wikia.
Oh man.
I love how there's also just mopeds fucking everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Bro,
every fast food joint has 5 people on a moped like a sock hop.
Have you
Yeah.
gone to well, I haven't seen it here, but if you go to the South, they have or LA, they have like the birds or whatever. Like go to Austin, the little bird mopeds, and people just ditch them. They're like, well, all right, I've landed,
yeah.
and they just throw them to the side. And you just see like just abandoned.
Oh yeah, that's a huge thing in LA.
Yeah. Oh, they're all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the little.
Hilarious.
It's really like homeless person live like it's like you stepping over all these like it's
Well, that's why you use them, because you can leave them anywhere.
just
Isn't that great?
street pollution everywhere.
Yeah, and they got people. They hire people specifically to go and collect them and like.
Yeah,
They
and
need to do that
charge
with
them back
Uber.
up.
Oh my
Just have a running
Yeah.
car in the middle of the street. I'm done.
No, that's gonna be
Don't
Elon
stop,
Musk's
just roll
next.
out.
Yeah.
Elon Musk's next thing is gonna be that. It's gonna be, oh no, you can actually just leave it rolling.
You can just leave it right there at the
Yeah.
intersection, and someone will
It
come
will
pick it
take
up.
off with reusable rockets.
You can just leave it at the intersection, and it'll go into our underground tunnel
fucking-
system and resume its life as a train car.
I kind of wish you could pull up that video of him and the 3 guys being like, "Oh, your meme game is really strong."
Oh yeah.
All right, let me.
Sorry, I sent it over Signal.
I think that. Do y'all think Elon talks dirty to his sex dolls? Like
Probably.
the fucking.
Does he
I-
have sex dolls?
He probably
yeah.
programs them.
He makes what? Does Elon have sex dolls?
I'm saying did he explicitly
He
say this?
No, or that he does?
Yeah.
No, but he obviously
I'm
has
just
sex
saying.
dolls.
You know he
I
has
mean,
like
bro,
7 children, right?
Yeah.
Like apparently he's got like 6 or
yeah,
7
no, yeah,
children.
he definitely
Yeah.
does. Yeah,
Which is hilarious. I can't imagine
that guy
having one.
fucks.
Imagine being
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine being XE Ash, whatever the fuck his name is,
Exactly.
and everybody else's name like, hey, I'm Kevin.
Lionel.
Your name's A squared minus B squared.
Right.
Goddamn quadratic formula over here. Motherfucker.
Hello, my name is Pythagoras.
Quadratic, you're late for school. Yeah, this is
Let me
it.
see if I can.
We can get audio.
God damn.
Yeah, look how much he sucks just visually.
That's the most.
I hate him. Look at these guys.
It's just like the vibes are deadly in there.
Time check too if we need to.
No, I'm just.
Can you full screen
A friend of
this?
mine is like suggesting that I troll hard drive by posting more memes from them. I'm just gonna keep stealing their memes. And posting them
Richest guy
without
on
giving
earth.
them credit. People love that.
That's the type of shit you say when you can't talk shit to a person. Yeah, people love that.
Typically, you'll like the meme too that you'll post.
Scientifically, you'll like the me. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
This guy right here. This guy right here.
You create your own memes though, don't you?
So I create some memes.
Your meme game is strong.
Thank you.
The dick riding is crazy.
I know. I was just gonna get to it.
That's
It's so deep back there.
He's like, I need to steal their memes and say I've made them myself.
And then tell hard drive to stop copying me.
Meanwhile,
Is that Rachel?
Looking around for validation.
Yeah.
it's crazy. 'Cause in another room,
It's so bad.
in another room, there's Neuralink monkeys just having seizures, just fucking poor monkeys being fucking shocked to death.
Halfway downloaded.
Move this hockey pad with your mind.
It's
Move
funny.
this mouse pad with your mind.
It's
You know,
funny.
it's funny. You know, you can have $1 billion and still need validation.
In fact, maybe need it on such a deeper level than everyone else.
It's an unfillable kind of abyss I have.
Did you know that when you reach $1 billion, you begin to talk like if Robin Williams was an asshole?
Oh, don't be afraid. Oh, no, Elon Musk.
Oh no,
$200 billion.
no, I make my own memes. You know how?
I've got a little bitty spacecraft.
We're gonna build a tunnel under the ground, and we're gonna take all the cars under the ground. Oh,
It goes really fast.
really fast, faster than you've ever seen before, faster than any car.
He's worth like 270 bees. now?
Yeah, yeah. Whatever the
Got a
most,
hive of bees. Now.
whatever the most is, he's
This
worth
is
that
kind.
much.
This is kind of related to a little thing I peeped when Connor was talking about how Tony Hawk had all the success and made $1 million. You were like, "That's awesome," and then you went, "Well." And then I was like curious, like what that like sentiment was, that thought you had.
I thought it was awesome that he remembering back on those times and remembering that's when that nigga became
Right.
Tony Hawk.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Money,
Then
right.
Then I
Yeah.
remember and then that nigga's also a fucking. Then I remembered Tony Hawk sucks to me. But the sentiment of him becoming Tony Hawk, I love when a person become. To me, that's what the my peak Tony Hawk memory is X Games 90s fucking Tony Hawk Pro Skater. So just being, it was just like more like being reminded of a good time. Like, oh yeah, that is when he became fucking Tony Hawk and became the image that I know in my mind. And I was like, oh yeah, but then what he became.
He is still.
I thought it was
super
the money.
inspirational.
I thought it was just like the money, like
$1 million.
yeah, $1 million. That's not.
Oh wait,
$1 million? Oh no.
Nah, but it's the connection for me between him and like someone like Elon Musk. Like just thinking about people who have a lot of wealth and like, I wonder how they sort of. I guess in America, there is no, you don't have any ethical or moral dilemma over having a fuck ton of money.
Yeah,
right?
because you don't think about you don't think about who doesn't have this money or like
or what you could do. Like, sure, there's like the charity piece of it. Like I'll throw money out to help people react to the systemic issues that make me all this money. Mm-hmm. But
the billion.
What are you talking about? He made birdhouse skateboards. That's his contribution. He made some sick video games. You're welcome.
No, but I wonder, like, I try and sometimes I sit and I think, like, what could some of these rich motherfuckers be thinking, actually?
Yeah.
You know, like, because the thought I always have is, like, wow, like, if I had that much in resources and power and influence, like, top 3 in my concerns would be, how do I change the world in the deepest way possible? And it's like the fact that a majority, I mean, aside from the fact that a majority of wealthy people got their wealth through clear exploitation and they know what they're doing and they know that this is how it goes. You know, there's some specifically like athletes or like creative people, like these types of rich motherfuckers, like you think like, damn, like you're sitting there, you have all this time, all this money, you're not like just Googling how to change the world, like and at least like.
But I think like for me, like when I look at that, I see like I think everybody needs to like work on themselves. That's the mark of a good person, a person who thinks of others. Like I think that you should be in the service of others, or how I've grown into thinking what I should do with my life. I want to be in the service of others. I want to help everybody around me. I don't, but that's how I personally grew up. It took work for me to feel that way in my own life.
Fully,
motherfuckers are dealing with food. Their government is feeding them bad food. You don't have clean water. You don't get good education. You're fucked up out here. So expecting them to make good moral decisions when they get money.
Right.
They got to fix themselves. You got to work on yourself, and then you'll. If more people worked on themselves, I feel like then they'd be like, oh, I can see the bigger picture. But
because you hit that upper limit where you're just like, I can only do so much for myself.
I think it does. Class background though is what I'm hearing in that. It's like it does depend on where you come from and the community you come from and the values of those communities. And I think identity plays a role in that. And
the big joke too, or just like I've heard it said a lot, is like, if you had just $1 billion, wouldn't you just fuck off and disappear? Like at the most shallow level, like just for fun. Like why would you be?
You think I would disappear? 1 billion, bitch.
Yeah, right. 10 million.
Right.
If I had $10,000
in my account,
I would put a down payment.
If someone is willing to fund my disappearance,
you telling me it's liquid? I'm out,
nigga.
Nah, but seriously, think like 1 billion. It's like you could give off 90% of that shit, and you don't have to work another day in your life.
Fuck billionaires. Our government it's a slap in the face every time watching them send money that way when people are growing up destitute. Fucking road infrastructure's fucked up. Ain't no adequate health care in their neighborhood. Seeing any money go, like, not any money, people need. You know what? Yeah. Anytime I see like money go out, especially like for war, niggas need help here. Biden just like fucking signed, I don't know how many billions over for fucking Ukraine versus Russia or whatever the fuck. I said it like it was like a Instagram.
An obscure country. You hear Biden?
You hear Biden just signed Ukraine, bro? It's fucking crazy, dog.
Joe Rogan commentating on fucking. Whoa, he just said I want to be too, but
wow, look at that.
That shit. Seeing, I don't even give a fuck about billionaires when I see my own government not sending billions to the fucking.
Can I respond to that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I zero in on the billionaires and the rich motherfuckers because they're the ones that control the government.
Oh, yeah,
well, you know, so it's like they just have control of this mechanism that helps maintain order and make them more money.
Isn't Bezos on the board of like a major like he's on
the board of everything.
Oh
yeah, I'm a photo negative of DeRay McKesson.
Wait, I need to process that.
what?
Ever thought about? They got the same fit, just different skin tones.
A photo negative is crazy. Yeah, like I would just build like a fucking VR game studio. I wouldn't build fucking like an infrastructure, which he didn't even build any of that shit anyways. But
yeah,
in terms of the state and the government and spending, you know, and I'm sure somebody listening to this is like looked into modern monetary theory, so they understand like how money works in a general sense. But it's like, you know, it's all fiat currency that's you know, that's used and put into its numbers in a machine that's put in all these different places in order to meet their sort of their own aims at the end of the day. And like this, when you look at how the Fed works and central banking system works, you know, it's like people say not to use the analogy of like a credit card or whatever, but it is sort of like that. When it comes to like federal spending, there's the only limit to federal spending is like real resources in the economy and labor. And that's like in the US, it's like 22 trillion a year. So the cat's out the bag on that. You know, it's like there is no real sort of, you know, limit in that sort of way, you know.
Well, wait, wouldn't the 22 trillion be the limit if that's the if our government, were you saying that our government, our economy is $22 trillion? Was that what you were saying?
Like our GDP?
Yeah, in terms of like real resources, labor.
Of the actual, not like fake printed money, not like this is imaginary monies. This is our the actual.
No, we're talking
thing,
about we're talking about real resources, and that's like that's a deep conversation in and of itself.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot in economics and like heterodox economics in particular that there's a lot of questions that still haven't been answered after centuries. You know, like even the question of what is value. You know, But yeah, the implications are clear just when you look at it from that standpoint. It's like, oh, we could be living in a post-scarcity communist society right now where we don't have to work and we're living comfortably and
bruh. I think about that all the time. The fact that like we don't have literally basic fucking safety nets for education, housing, all that bullshit. We could have easily done it, but we're dealing with the niggas we have to argue with. It's growing. The ideology of we could have a better I don't want to say we have a better society. Niggas, the people who believe in capitalism, even though this shit is failing, it feels like more people are believing in it day by day. I'm watching black people. Black people are like slowly becoming more, not slowly. They've always been like a little right wing, but now they're like, well, shit, nigga.
I mean, especially with crypto and things like that.
That's why I'm like, I feel like it's scary watching.
I mean, it's wild because you'll see all these like, I feel like rappers promote this so much. Like you'll watch a Shade Room interview where somebody tells you exactly what's going on. They're like, you know, this system is fucked up. This shit is crumbling. All of this shit. No, there's no value to be had in this shit. And then their like little jump off point is, so you just got to get in where you can fit in. You just got to, you got to make it work for you, bro. You got to make it.
Anyway, I got this new NFT coming out.
You got to game the system, baby.
You mentioned 21 Savage, and I literally just today on TikTok, he said, like, if you have $200,000, $300,000, you know, from whatever means, why would you put that into like starting a rap career or rap? He was like, put it into land or real estate or whatever. Well, I mean, obviously being a landlord is, you know, being a landlord, but like he's making a good point of like, all this money goes into the most competitive fucking like things ever. Yeah. Instead of building something that's maybe like, I don't know, a bit more low risk, sustainable, you know, helps other people.
That is like,
I was listening to 21 Savage today and he was like, suck my dick, bitch. That's what I took away from him today.
I just mentioned that because we mentioned him.
I did want to clarify too, like what I meant when I said post-scarcity communist society. Like, you know, like just because the term communist is still so like loaded, I don't really even use it most of the time for that reason. Because when you're thinking of communism, you're thinking of the USSR and the People's Republic of China, and you're really thinking about places where it's a form of capitalism where the state is just controlling more of the operations and controlling the affairs. But like post-scarcity communist society is we're really talking about in a funny way. It's like what Martin Luther King Jr. was talking about before he passed, like when he said we have the resources for people to not be living in poverty. We have the resources and we have advanced technologically and in terms of like these systems to where no one actually has to live in these conditions anymore.
We are choosing to do this, guys. Literally.
I mean, and communist implies communal social relations, meaning we actually, our lives are really just revolve around meeting our needs and being with each other every day. That's it, you know?
it does not feel natural traveling. Simple shit. It does not feel natural traveling to Manhattan every fucking day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think back in the day, hunter-gatherer niggas was like, all right, this Savannah's nuts.
Right.
They might do it for a season. They might travel for a season.
I mean, dog, I think about this all the time. You ever think about how weird it is to like tour doing comedy?
It's insane.
To tour, like, not even just the notion of like going on the road just to work, but the notion of like going to a different city, to somebody else's community, to make them do a thing that they should be doing every day.
Yeah. Oh,
to make them laugh,
yeah,
like
to bring joy. Oh my God.
Yeah, to bring joy, like we
funnier.
have to bring it. Like, what do we do? What
Joy is coming.
No, but that's how these niggas are so just. Like, I go to small towns like sometimes, and they're so devoid. When you go to a show, or when you're going to a show where nobody knows you and it's sold out, you're like, y'all niggas don't know me,
right?
What the fuck? And they're like, you're the comedy of the week, and it's like, oh no, this is.
It's like, we don't know you.
This is entertainment for. This is like the entertainment for y'all. That's wild. Man.
Like we don't know you, but we need you.
They like it's, and you can be in like, it's funny because you can do those small towns where you're younger in comedy because you don't have to be that good because they just want anything. They're like, you're buddy, like you got to be charming, you got to be like do your job, but they lack going there, and like how often they lack like any kind of like, for lack of a better word, joy, excitement, like energy. You're bringing energy to them that they don't often get, and it's just wild.
It's also the commodification of of joy.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm here, and I'm here to make you laugh, and I'm selling you a package of laughter here.
Yeah. Right.
The privatization of everything is that. Everything's name something that's not privatized. Right. Show me something.
Right.
My DNA is privatized.
My dick is privatized. Okay, I don't even have control of it. I got a
Privatized
landlord
me,
on my
Captain.
dick.
I got a separate OnlyFans for just my dick. It's a premium for the
I
other
don't
parts of
even
my body.
own my dick. You understand that? I'm paying rent on my penis.
Fuck a BBC LLC, bitch. This
Yeah, LLC stands for leg cock. That's leg cock. That stands for.
said fuck a BBC. Yo, if that isn't our times in a phrase, that is like, it's literally directly related to what we were just talking about. Literally what you were just saying. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wait, which part?
Nah, you were talking about like rappers having an interview and they're talking about how shit is fucked up, and then it's like, okay, I got an NFT out.
Yeah, right.
That does sound like a rap line.
Right.
Fuck a BBC LLC.
Throwing up gang signs.
Oh, a corporate gang?
Right. He's going like this.
Right.
That stands for Crip? No, incorporated.
Yo, before
Copyrighted,
before
nigga.
this whole shit burns down, we're gonna see the state using shit like that.
Oh,
to,
yeah.
Watching them co-op fucking protest and fucking ACAB
Right.
and shit like it. I mean, that's
God,
like
bro.
the bootstraps, business,
no. But when you're asking like what fucks me up about traveling is realizing this big ass country is not the same. It's not the same place.
No,
this is not
right.
one. It's
Right,
maybe one
right.
landmass.
Right.
This is not the same
Right.
place, guys. You
Right.
can fucking going upstate to fucking Connecticut. I'm like, oh, y'all different. This is.
I don't know if you've watched any of the previous episodes, but I managed to go. What were you gonna say? You haven't been able to peep anything, or
No, I definitely have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, I say that because I go on a spiel about nation states usually, like every conversation we have, and it's like to that point about like how goofy the nation state model is. It's like the idea that there's this
Partitioning.
one homogenous like mass
we all
that's
the
this
same.
monolith, right? Yeah, you see that flag right there? That's everyone in in North America. That is us. Those stars and those stripes.
Yeah,
Right.
that. I live in Bushwick. I don't think Bushwick is the same neighborhood.
Right.
No, bro.
New York City, like it's like
Yeah.
really.
Bushwick is like-
the more you scale it
Yeah.
up, the more you go up in that satellite and look. It's like
Bushwick and Astoria could be completely different parts of the world.
Right. I mean, the
Queens,
part of
go into deeper into Queens. Let's go
the part
every
of
layer of
Bushwick,
Queens.
Bushwick itself.
the part of Bushwick we live in versus this part of Bushwick. It's two different
We don't live in the
Bushwicks.
same neighborhood, but
Yeah.
on paper,
So true.
we live in the same neighborhood.
Right.
And I'm like, this is not. If it really does fuck me up. That's how you know there's no. It's funny because it's almost like this like cosmic thing you gotta wrap your head around. There is no borders. The world's big as fuck, but your world is really just this small community.
We just need the world to be like a Skyrim map with no borders. It's just like, you found a new area.
How funny would
Yes, let's talk about the town. Why are we going all the way up, zooming out to a fucking continent?
Right.
Damn,
And there's a one government for a whole ass. Are you crazy?
This nigga made me snap like I was at a poetry reading. Inadvertently, I was up there. I caught myself. I was like,
That's real shit. How is it? How is it? And I know, like, relative to other places, like if you compare the U.S. government to the French government, for example, and like I have conversations with people in other countries, and they look at the U.S. and they're like, well, it's a federation, a confederation of states, technically, you know, and it's like that's a relatively decentralized thing compared to some other places around the world or whatever. But it's like, even at the level of the state, New York State, you know what I mean? And the amount of people that are in these positions, it's such a small amount of people too, supposedly representing millions of people. That is
50,
insane.
100
Andrew Cuomo, no nigga with nipple piercings.
You shouldn't even be able to name, it shouldn't come down to people, that I can count on one hand that are quote unquote representing millions of people anywhere, any context.
What do we need representatives for?
Right, we don't.
The policy. Why can't I vote on policy?
Yes.
Why can't I just be like,
Yes.
I agree with that. I want that one.
Right.
I want to vote on a
Direct
person.
democracy.
Yeah, what the
Right.
fuck?
Yeah.
Right, that's the
fuck
difference.
that.
That's the difference between direct democracy and representative democracy. Representative democracy isn't democracy. Like that's what I'm always struggling to like explain to people sometimes. It's like,
Founding fathers were very explicit about that. There's too much democracy in here. There's actually way too much democracy. We do own all the land, and most people don't. So if we let these guys vote, they're going to vote to not have land ownership.
again, going back to that,
it's built as a corporation.
going back to that thing with the government and the state and the versus the billionaires or whatever.
The billionaires.
That's the whole
no,
thing.
Representatives are clearly there to be like, if we get like you just said, if we let these niggas vote, then they're gonna fucking vote for what's in their interest. But if we put somebody in between them that we can buy, they're gonna vote for what's in the corporation.
Right. And here's the thing. I gotta say this. The fucking, I'll say like left liberal, like social democrat, Bernie types, the dangerous illusion that they still hold up. And it's like, it comes from a good place with some people, but it's a dangerous illusion. They frame it as corruption.
Yeah.
But corruption implies
That there's
well, it implies
There's
that
a
the
good
system
version.
could work.
Yeah.
No, but it's like, no, what you're calling corruption is literally
game.
baked into the system that you're talking about here.
Right.
No, yeah. The fact of the matter, I don't know. I just like, my whole thing is this shit is a fake. Like lie. I'm like literally society. It's not even to me that just not only is government fake, our like culture and society. I feel like it breaks down to that. Like it because
It's
of their control.
corporatized. It's all right.
Everything's Disney. Everything is
Right.
like fake and like even to like and it trickles down into our own social interaction. Look at how society is built.
Right.
We live in New York. I live with 4 roommates. They control like because of big business. They control my living how I interact with life. I have 4 roommates.
4 is a lot.
Right.
I mean, I have 3 roommates. I'm counting myself.
I mean, still
living with myself.
3 is a lot.
You got 3. You got
with
hold up.
myself is a lie.
I'm a someone put that on me. I look Andy Capital.
Hold up,
Put that on a shirt right now.
You got
It's like a Walmart.
That's
nigga.
real shit, though. That's
White
real
women
shit.
would eat that up. You kidding?
I'm just here like you work. Hold up, you got 3 roommates. You must work at the weekly show.
The bi-weekly.
The weeklish. Where's this guy work at? The weeklish? Fuck you, nigga.
You tell that to Trevor Noah, like, you're my friend, so we work at the weekly show.
Can you believe this?
Yeah. Ooh.
Get a load of this at the water cooler.
You have to start treating Trevor Noah like they treat Nick Cannon at Wild 'N Out. Like, hey, bro, what's going on with these checks? Huh?
Yeah, yeah. I would, but I'm too scared of that nigga.
That's the boss, right?
Yeah.
His last name is No. He'll say that.
This nigga is a next level human being, so I'm like, I'm not fucking with that nigga. This nigga knows my thoughts.
The
I
hilarious.
wanted to circle back though to the representation piece too, because I'm thinking about again another arm of this illusion is like someone like AOC or whoever gets in, and then it convinces millions of people again that this whole thing can work, even though she fucking knows it doesn't work. She's in there and can't do shit.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like,
It's like there's not going to be a critical mass of like where from the top down. Now the government's going to be good one day in time for us to avert complete ecological collapse. It's just not going to happen. Right. So that literally leaves us like, no, we have to make decisions ourselves about what's going on in our everyday lives, in our society, in our world. We have to literally start taking control ourselves.
Literally, if COVID did not show you that, if it did not show you, your government does not give a fuck about you.
Right.
I mean, you should have. First off, you're stupid. You're dumb. You should have known that.
Or in denial, just straight up in denial. Like, because if they don't have that, so many people, if they don't have that, it's like everything collapses. The world is just there's nothing else
because they've invested in the system for so long.
You believe
now
in
they have to
this is a fake system. They've been saying what upsets me is this is not new. That's what's upsetting. It is not new. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, literally W.B. Du Bois, all these people who've existed, they've told you this system is fake as fuck. It is not real. They're upholding it. This is like a place for businesses. It's not for Americans. So the fact that each generation, it's almost like we forget the lessons that people told us that they went through, all this trauma that people went through to scream as loud as they can, made noise through history to tell us this shit is fucked. And we still are like, I don't know, AOC and the squad. Yeah. We give them 20 more years. We might be able to take back. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. You know what it is like a lot of it comes,
I'm sorry.
I feel like so much of it comes down to like we put so much value in like martyrdom as a thing, and like we don't really think about the fact that like more people died than MLK. He died in like egregious circumstances and like in a very fucked up way, but like you got to think about the people who were sidelined to platform his politics and his like, I mean, his just in his case particularly like nonviolent protests and all these things, and then like people who died to get us our right to vote. And but like there were people at the same time dying to not be associated with America as a nation state in the first place, you know?
Right.
Like the fact that it's wild look in like the fervor we were in over the like Tubman 20s. Like, do you think she would really want to be on the money that she was bought and sold with?
Absolutely, yeah. No, that's
absolutely not.
Crazy.
Like,
that's crazy. Yeah.
It's fucking wild, you know? And like it's like we have all this value and respect for like what the ancestors died for, but like is a whole league of ancestors that died for some other shit. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
So
it also dovetails into this thing about paternalism that we always come back to.
Yeah.
It's like this thing of like we're conditioned to have other people do shit for us from the time we're babies. And then beyond the nuclear family home, it's like you have a boss and you have a landlord and you have all these administrative, bureaucratic figures that are going to do these things for you. And it's like, well, systems change should work the same way. Revolution should work the same way. There's an elite class of people that are going to change the whole thing
file
for
a document.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just a bill.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to go file for a permit to go protest when I come.
Like it's like quote unquote professional revolutionaries. It's like, oh, they'll handle it. Someone's gonna come from nowhere and then just sweep their hand like Jesus Christ, and then everything is gonna change.
It literally, when you say building community is the only answer, it is, because any of these, the D-Rays, the fucking Sean Kings, all these, like you watch, and it's so upsetting because when you're watching it happen, you're sitting there like, this nigga's all fake. This nigga's like a scam artist.
Right.
And yet people are promoted to the top of the forefront of movements and commercialized, and they literally shit that is, they tell us these like niggas are going to co-opt your movement. They are going to co-opt your language. That the first thing you ask to watch out for. And they just smoothly walk in and just be like, D-Ray, blue backpack nigga. And what has this nigga gotten? What has Sean King gotten? What is fucking who are black leaders? Who are black leaders or leaders in general? Dr. Umar?
My brothers and sisters, I cannot believe that you would cast such aspersions upon my character to say that I would flirt with a white woman in a public space. I cannot believe that. I simply needed to exchange my cellular phone.
This nigga got the cam footage from the Dippin' Dots next door. He was like, I told you. I was not.
We were outside of an Auntie Anne's. Okay?
Hold on.
I was attempting to acquire an Auntie Anne's pretzel. I was attempting to acquire
cinnamon
Auntie Anne's
specifically.
pretzel.
Let me say that again. Cinnamon specifically.
Cinnamon specifically.
But
cinnamon specifically.
What nigga do y'all know? Everybody feels like they're capitalizing off of revolution, off of people recognizing, oh, this is not
again commodification can be commodified.
Privatization.
Yeah.
Of fucking
can be bought. Quote unquote revolution can be bought and sold.
Yeah.
Right.
Look at all the today, right now, all the pride flags, fucking across every corporation.
Amazon,
they literally had the fucking.
I got the craziest one. Amazon.com.
Oh man.
Put the word intersectionality on their website.
Oh shit!
Wow. That is actually the most egregious I've ever seen. Like just purely from a messaging standpoint.
The Gatorade bottle you can pee in is on the intersectionality.
Right.
Bro, they really had I think it was the army or something. They after people made this meme for years.
Yeah.
The army
the rainbow bomb.
They had they had the helmet with the rainbow bullets on the side. That shit was wild to me. Y'all don't know what the
people in the.
Oh no, you can be gay for America. Trust me. We will make sure that you can be gay for America.
People in the Slack channel, my boss has a rainbow profile pic, and and they're like, if you guys want to change it to this, it's like,
oh,
and I'm like,
my God,
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh my God.
We're being encouraged to.
Right.
Guys, first off, ACAB. Second off,
exactly.
Second off, Jonathan, I need that report in 2 days.
Second off,
or you're fired.
I just put a meeting with HR in your calendar. We're firing you.
Yo, liberalism is crazy.
Shit is wild.
That is crazy.
It's a fucking. It's a mental fucking management system to even stay sane in this whole thing.
Liberalism. It's so funny.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like playing an RPG just to stay sane.
Living with yourself.
I disassociate like a motherfucker. I am not a part of this.
You have to compartmentalize. You're like, okay, video of Elon Musk. Just like, all right, set that aside. Not in front of consciousness. Don't think about that.
Literally, I honestly, it's so much that it's almost like it's designed to psychologically torture you and make you I felt like when I would just decided to be like, all right, I want to know about the world. It was it was so fun at first. So I was like, ooh, it's like words, I'm learning.
You were reading those eyewitness kids books. Like, there's elephants. That's fucking nuts.
You see that giraffe? Then I got further down.
Ancient Rome.
War.
Right.
What's that?
Right. Oh my God.
What the fuck, man? That's why it's like, I'm gonna kill myself. Why would I? What the fuck? I know too much. I know stupid, especially like trying to write for the Daily Show. In my mind, I gotta know so much. I gotta know in-depth, deep stuff. And now it's so unnecessary. But now I do know just goofy. Y'all know ISIS had an online magazine?
I'm not surprised. I know they invested in media and
they're
propaganda.
they had a lot of media shit.
Yeah.
They had 4K
high production
cameras.
value.
Yeah. They would be drowning
videos.
people in cages on 4K. Back when I was in college. I remember
literally caught in 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, what website were you on, nigga?
Twitter.
You could see it. You could see they would do they would do the surface sort of promo stuff where they're not showing you the actual gore, but they're just showing the setup.
What was it? What was the websites back then?
Live Leak.
Yeah.
ISIS would release 4K footage of all that shit.
I'm saying they they used actual marketing strategy. So it's not like they just dumped the
Right.
whole thing. They would do a promo video where it's not showing you the actual act. It's showing you the setup. It's showing you people with their, hands tied behind fire, burning, and they're
Like a
standing
trailer.
there.
Right. Trailer.
Yeah, it's a trailer. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
It's like, so good luck mentally managing your sanity. Thinking about
Right.
that.
Right.
The Uvalde thing is the
definitely
thing that I'm
Google it when I
like,
get
I
home.
gotta
Dog.
just go ahead and put that over here. Can't
just
really
like-
dip my shit into that.
I'm just like,
because
I'm-
it's just too much. It's too much to even.
Yeah.
I'm
think
just like,
about-
imagine having a color corrective video of a murder.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Damn, I'm definitely gonna Google all that stuff.
Don't do it.
I'm definitely gonna. I'm like, damn. I talked about.
It's not gonna stop them.
I'm down the rabbit hole, guys. That shit. But that shit. If that shit fucked me up, like, find out ISIS had a magazine, nigga. I don't know.
I feel like the COINTELPRO or whatever you want to call the agencies doing shit to civilians psychologically, I think has never stopped.
Oh, no,
I think
it's
I
It's
think
only
they-
evolved.
It's been
Yeah.
remade in a bunch of different names, all this shit. Yeah.
It's also, again, it's intertwined with the psychological elements inherent to the capitalist system.
Right.
So it's again this commodification of everything. The thinking about TikTok, like all of this data streaming into one centralized platform and then being leveraged and used to market different things to different people. It's just a million. It's supercharged, is what I'm saying. And even
commodification
more
of
messy.
information, of how information's dispersed and how
Right.
it's packaged and angled and
Right. And it's not, so it's not this text, it's not like the textbook thing anymore where it's like, oh, the government sits and, sort of like what I don't know, like Russian state media is, like where you you sit and you come up with this media plan and you make these platforms and you make these programs and you pump it out to millions, billions of people. And you're like, now all of these people are going to believe this and they can only get it from here. It's not
It's like
that
its own
anymore.
self-sustaining,
Right.
self-perpetuating
Right.
system
Yeah.
that
Right.
rolls
Right.
through.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think
It's all like it's become this meta code. It's like
Yeah.
it's like beyond. It's like metadata.
But we're
psychologically.
we're watching what the end results of this algorithm that's controlling this like propaganda algorithm that's controlling fucking the minds of people. We're watching it just make everybody fascist.
Yeah.
It's just
Right.
literally
Yeah. Right.
It has one goal.
Right.
We're
Fascist.
clearly watching
Right.
or terrorists like
Yeah.
I mean like
You can-
active shooters are terrorists.
Right.
You know, like
It's literally like it's literally like a psychological. It's a psychological weapon. You
Yeah.
literally are controlling people's minds
Yeah.
with what they consume and watch.
And we're doing it to ourselves. I think about the phrase "be your own boss" a lot. How we've evolved to the point where it's just like you don't need a boss. Just go out there and oppress yourself.
Yeah, no.
Just go out there and make a schedule for yourself and just get up, work like it's a 9 to 5 and go out there, sell a useless product, invent some new shit that we don't need that doesn't serve the community or anybody on the broader scale. Just go out there and win, buddy.
Fucking roast is the biggest boast.
The other thing I'm thinking about is, a part of me feels like it's out of everyone's control to a certain degree, but then I think about like Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying. The fucking
Right.
the other thing I was going to mention was the whole Iowa thing with Bernie. It's like
Yeah.
there was like a degree of planning to that, and you can draw connections to people that are like involved in. I don't know. That shit goes deep, and that was another moment.
The CIA is now listening.
But it's like you have the Facebook cheat code,
Right.
almost
Yeah.
with
Right.
these types of forces coalescing,
Right.
and yeah, so it's weird. It's like it's a type of chaos, but it's also controlled, but not in a good way. It's like controlled in a.
It's like a marketplace of propaganda. Like it's like the self-sustaining, self-benefiting.
Yeah,
all of
that's-
the
yeah,
fear
marketplace of
helps
propaganda
benefit
is-
the
right.
model.
Right.
It goes back and forth in this
Yeah, I
cycle.
mean,
Who's the
But
highest?
isn't that
Who's the
just
highest
like-
bidder? You get dibs.
Right.
Go ahead. Do what
Right.
you're gonna do.
Hold up, there's a CIA member in my live. Let me get this CIA member.
Yeah.
off
But
my
that's
live.
like been we are. I feel like we're at what we are is at one of the most advanced stages of what's been going on for the past for beyond America's inception.
Yeah.
If the internet, our phones, are propagandizing us to believe what our current government wants us to believe, 20 years ago or 30 years ago, it was fucking the TV. TV was propagandizing people.
Right.
Before the TV was newspaper, all that shit. This is just basic human. Like they figured it out. They know how we work. Get them in front of, just repeat the same thing over and over, and let them consume their own shit. They'll eventually. Just the brain works in a pattern where they like patterns. They're
confirmation bias over just like incremental over the course of days, months, years. It's manufacturing consent.
Set the bounds, the limits of the conversation, and let people argue. And these two, the false dichotomy, not knowing that there's a real solution or alternative outside.
Well, and it's an algorithm. And when you think about it, the fact that we all have algorithm as a common term now, that's like a limited hangout. They're using something even more complex than an algorithm now. If we know what an algorithm is and we can see this is algorithmic, they're working on some crazy next level shit. Google's probably running this
digital demigods that are part of the system.
They got some YouTube
algorithms.
They got some sentient Mewtwo.
You better
It's the fucking Sealy council just be like, yes, great. They think Elon is in control.
It's actually X-A-. Elon's kid is the actual algorithm.
No, and I brought up the be your own boss thing because to get to, I guess, where this has brought me to is that like they've kind of like stolen our freedom and they're selling it back to us incrementally in a way that they can control so easily. Like, we got to this point where like newspapers were revealed to be propaganda, like in manufacturing consent, all that is like a phrase that's attached to news media, and you get the television doing the same thing and all this stuff. And then like mid 2000s YouTube comes along, and now we have this idea, media is democratized. Everybody has their own space that they can create. We can all pump out our own media. We can anybody can do
that
this.
Shit is the devil.
And it's like now the way you can
it's helping this system disguise as freedom.
Yes, exactly. It's like
I talked to some comedians and they're like legendary ones, and they'll point to something.
Call me legendary, but continue.
they'll point to like Patreon as like the great equalizer or something. Like, and it's like, you don't control that at all. They are the middleman. You have what say do you have?
Totally what. You can make a movie.
Right. Yeah.
Bitch, I ain't watching your iPhone.
Right.
Also, how are you making movies? How are you going to get it to millions of people? How are people going to watch it?
The limit is your creativity.
Right, yeah.
And the satanic algorithm will all control it.
And look, not to proselytize. Not to proselytize, but why did they never say you can make a movie on your Android device? Nobody ever says that.
No, it's always an iPhone.
It's always an iPhone. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's
that shit is deep though. It's like, if anything, the internet and the World Wide Web gives us the greatest opportunity to actually start doing that, but it's not happening yet.
Because the people who control YouTube are corporate entities who they're using YouTube, TikTok, all that algorithm.
I mean, it's Google.
It's all Google.
It's Google.
Alphabet, whatever. Whoever it is, it's the corporation that's like, we can easily. Nigga, they drop Joe Rogan into the algorithm. You are full on signing up. You're Kyle Rittenhouse. That's how you become Kyle Rittenhouse. One episode of Joe Rogan in your algorithm will taint your whole pool and fucking send you down a right-wing rabbit hole. When I lived in the hostel I was telling you about earlier, one of my roommates, it was this trans girl she stayed in the top bunk, and the guy who stayed below her was just like this dude,
Jordan Peterson,
baby Jordan, Ben Shapiro, little Ben Shapiro who worked at CVS Pharmacy. His life was just disaffected white kid. That's all it was. Every night, no earphones. This nigga would just sit in the bunk bed watching Jordan Peterson go. Just to clean your room. Also, trans women shouldn't play sports. Also, just the worst.
You have to clean your room. We're getting so dirty in this society. Tony Hawk he wasn't big until the game. Really,
all the young boys are
millions of dollars.
All the young boys are drinking alcohol and not cleaning their room. And what does that do to the women?
His thing now is just crying all the time.
Yeah, I was right about to get it.
It is about the individual. I'm scared because my status is
If you want to ask me about gender, I would say you're wrong. But if you ask me about sexuality, I think that's a fact. I think that is a fact.
Someone DM'd me, not to derail
No,
what you were talking about, but someone DM'd me telling me that Skrillex got caught in it.
Yeah, he's.
And I y'all don't know about this?
I've seen it online.
I don't care that much, but
Well, look.
Skrillex!
No, it's not. It's not on that tip. It's not on that tip. It's like on the tip of like, yo, if someone like Skrillex is getting, it's literally to your point about the pipeline. It's like if someone like Skrillex is fucking getting.
It's like how Jim Brewer became an anti-vax guy and was at like the RNC
doing the worst comedy he's ever fucking done.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's fucking crazy.
Even worse, he still has that same haircut. It's crazy.
He has a badge on, so he paid. Like he literally was like.
Yeah.
Sonny was like, I love Jordan.
Listen here, buddy.
I liked the song that goes, yes, oh my God, right before the drop.
you know, he was like,
I'm actually not familiar with his music. But I love all my supporters.
You know, so one of his assistants was like, he's one of the highest paid DJs in the world. Oh, really? That's wow.
Right.
You know, people tell
artists believe in reactionary ideas.
Exactly.
You know, people keep telling me all a DJ does is they push a button and the music just plays, but I believe it's a lot deeper than that. You know?
We can get Diplo.
Do you know the thing that fucking irritates me the most about Jordan Peterson is he calls himself, this isn't actually the most irritating thing, but he calls himself a classical liberal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
classic.
Because that's how bad it is to be Republican. These niggas are like, I'm actually a liberal. Like,
right. But they don't even understand the history of classical liberalism. That's the mind fuck of it.
Right.
Literally the concrete social, economic, political reflection of classical liberal values are revolutionary leftist values of like direct democracy and, you know, cooperative economics and all of these different things. Yeah, that's actually the thing with classical liberalism is the contradictions again were baked in. You had all these European men that were saying liberty, democracy, justice, like actually important virtues and values. But they're invested in, you know,
capital and
slave trading companies.
See, that's what when I say classical liberalism, I think of like fucking goddamn Bill Clinton liberalism, but it's the same thing. He came in trying to push quote unquote.
There's this through line,
but it was really He corporatized. He was like the start of like liberals almost being in their chest out like, we're social justice, but also we about that bag.
Well, they call that third way. That's what the Clintons, they and to them, again, all of these people we're talking about, they don't have an understanding of like history really and philosophy and all. They don't have a comprehensive understanding of these things, even a basic understanding, in my personal opinion, because they don't see the through lines of it all. But their framing of third way is like they're connecting the liberals to the conservatives, and they're reaching across the aisle. You know, I love that phrase, reach across the aisle. But it's really all just on the backdrop of capitalism. You're all just supporting capitalism. It's all right wing. Classical liberalism, historically, this goes centuries back. It's in this sort of window where capitalism, it's not in the form that it's in today. It's like in another form, and it's still developing in all of these different ways. And colonialism as well, settler colonialism, it's like developing in all these different ways. And these people that are talking about liberty and democracy and studying even indigenous like organization, they're espousing all these things on paper, but then in practice and in reality, it's all in service to domination. It's all just in service to domination. And that's like the contradiction that does carry on to Clinton and to any of these people that are Republicans and Democrats, liberals and conservatives. They're both a part of this same contradiction because they're both saying life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. They're both saying these great vague things.
Buzzwords.
But then when you actually get to the nitty gritty, when you get into the fine print, has absolutely nothing to do with liberty or democracy or any of those things. Literally has nothing to do with it. And you could say that it's a spectrum of democracy when you're talking about liberals and conservatives, but it's all right wing. It's all still right wing. It's all for all intents and purposes, it's anti-democratic. If you're having a conversation in the confines of capitalism, you're not talking about democracy. You're not talking about liberty. You're not talking about any of that shit.
I mean, bro, I'm like, fuck the fine print. In the bold print, what? The pursuit of happiness? Why do I have to chase the shit?
Yeah,
right.
Why
Let me
can't
just
I
have
be
it.
sad, nigga?
Let me just have it. Let me just have it.
Pursuit of being moody.
You know?
Nietzsche said, or no, I don't know.
I saw a Richard Wolff clip recently where he's like, there were people called liberals that were concerned with the conditions of slavery, and then there were people that were leftists that were upset that there was slavery to begin with.
Yeah. I feel like that's where the political spectrum of left and right is already.
It's bullshit.
That's
bullshit.
what you're fucking. You're like,
we use these terms,
codify it in this term. Bitch, this is wrong. How about that? That's just wrong. This is correct. That's the wrong thing you're doing.
When you look, when you start to look at it through the lens of power, you see that there's all these different axes of power.
Yeah.
Really, the power thing is what really opens the shit up.
Nigga, that's why the symbol is a pyramid. The president, it's literally, these niggas are, it's power. It's literally, the presidential seal is a top of a pyramid. It's not just like some cute little, it's them blatantly.
No, that is
that
literally
Not a bunch of
eye
hands
is.
holding in a circle.
Yeah, right. It's literally an all-seeing eye on top of a pyramid.
It's like, nigga, all right.
Literally the eye of Sauron.
right.
we told you what it was.
They're literally, guys.
We left the guys.
Oh, you go.
Did you look at the box of the game?
We left some red crumbs.
Literally.
Jumanji, did you look at it closely?
We put it on the money.
You say like the corruption. It's like we're already using the word corruption is wrong, and because obviously we're working in the confines of a capitalistic system. But look at fucking Nancy Pelosi. We're watching these right now. All you gotta do is watch TV. You will see politicians being like. They don't even have good excuses. They're just like, I don't, Nancy Pelosi's stealing. She's literally, they're
living good, man. They're living good.
She's a billionaire. Her stock
so
trades
rich.
are more accurate than like a supercomputer. Literally, like it's generally when they look at her stock trades versus NAS. I think it's like I don't know them terms, but like a NASDAQ supercomputer,
like a Bloomberg terminal.
Literally, she outperforms
a Bloombox.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's wild.
And
she's got a lot of connections.
That's just one. That's that's Nancy Pelosi. You got Dianne Feinstein. You have all these people. You can literally watch individual politicians and you're like, that's corruption. That's corruption. But we're at a point where no one gives a fuck that all our news stories are just corruption or just be like, we saw him do that and then it blows over.
Yeah.
It's literally fake. Like there's no, how people believe in the system is, as we watch them blatantly be like, fuck you, as we watch Joe Biden act like there's nothing you can do about Joe Manchin and Christian Cinema. This is planned. This is planned. I don't even want to, what's the term of like, they
conspired.
They are. They're conspiring against the American people.
Yeah.
What's fucked up is they're not even worried about us having this conversation right now.
No.
Like I get scared sometimes. I'm like,
I don't care.
We can talk. We can lay it all the fuck out.
Well, it's like,
I know we've invested already millions in podcasters that are doing what you're doing. Actually.
Yeah, we've got counterintel programs running.
Yeah, we're good. We'll figure out. We'll figure out how to recreate your brand identity, and we'll just go from there. You know. It goes back to what I was saying.
It's not real.
Yeah.
Nah, but look, if we come together, it's true. It's a cliche. There's more of us.
The practice is when they get threatened.
And look, and that's not to say that it's easy. That's not to say that it's like simple. It's just to say that it is a fundamental truth that we are the ones. It's a back and forth, a push and pull. Like we're simultaneously enabling this thing by not collectively coming together and trying to do another thing.
What's the quote? What's the famous? I don't know if it was Karl Marx or somebody. Some nigga was like, if the horse realized that if the
the gazelles and the lion type shit.
Oh, wait, or is it? I thought it was like if the horse realized that it's the horse and it could just shake the flies off. It wouldn't realize I'm fucking destroying this. I'm absolutely butchering this guy. got
Is that
the
called
goddamn
well just-
got horse and the seesaw and the fly.
Phil Flarn
Feel free to Google this quote.
If the filth realized it was flying the floor, the only filth we have to farm is,
You know, it's a good time.
to be talking about the capitalism and the filth and the flowers.
It's a good time to remind people.
filth is baked into the. If we contextualize the flawed filth within the.
What is it a good time?
I don't know why I tried that. I know I don't remember quotes.
It's okay. This
I'm
is
not
a
a
space.
quote
Bro. You
nigga.
can do this. It's okay.
I once read. Oh God, hold on.
You might as well come up with a new quote, bro.
If the 99% realizes that they're just a horse waiting to swap off the flies, then they'll type in that. You'll see it.
I'm looking it up.
Like, was it Big Bird? Who the fuck says that?
It's wild that somebody 100 years from now is gonna be like, "Who was that
said-
quote? Who was that dude that said what was that quote that where the horse was like swatting flies in the? What was the quote
I
again?
would make the worst revolutionary. People.
I'm trying to remember.
People in America.
Oh my God. That
Remember when your forefather Ashton Womack said, "Who was that nigga that said that one thing about the horse?"
It is at the tip of
that
my tongue.
reminds
Is that the
me-
tip of my
That
goddamn tongue?
reminds me, who's worse to me? Y'all know James Brown was a revolutionary.
James
Like he's
Brown.
not like he was like a activist. James Brown was an active activist. Like I'm black and I'm proud. Didn't come out
you talking about?
I hate capitalism.
literally.
I hate capitalism
No, but-
except for Richard
No,
Nixon.
that literally, he was like a huge activist back in the day, and I found this out only obviously like 2 years ago, and it just fucked me up because I'm just like, how is this nigga giving speeches? This nigga's barely understandable now. He's just like, well, give it to Richard, and he's like, what the fuck, nigga? Bow to the people. That's all I heard.
Yeah. Was that before? Was that before?
America.
I mean,
He's high on cocaine.
yeah, this was this was clearly the beginning of his.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like the
had
Kanye of his
best
time.
coke
Yeah,
that
yeah,
ever
yeah,
was
that dude.
at that period.
You what?
He probably had the best cocaine ever invented,
Absolutely.
probably.
I don't think I've
James
ever
Brown.
seen this
Oh,
nigga
yeah.
not sweating.
Yeah.
Damn.
And his shirt was unbuttoned. He would have a deep V. But
I tried finding this quote, by the way. I got nothing, man. I got nothing. All right. I'm hoping it wasn't a fake, one of those fake Facebook quote things, and it just said
Right.
Karl Marx at the bottom.
We only
It's
use
attributed to-
40%
I'm
of our
gonna
brain.
Google this.
Are you sure? Are you sure it was a gazelle or a horse?
Google
Which-
Gazelle at that point. At this point,
You find it.
Pulls up
It's,
the Wikipedia
help
page
me,
for Gazelle.
nigga.
you find it's attributed to Carl Malone,
What?
Marl Cart,
Groucho Marx.
As long as you can bring up any quote, as long as it's a quote, just
Just
horse
please
quote.
anything,
Anything with a horse.
anything.
Horse quotes on Goodread.
Can we confirm that quotes exist? Can we confirm that quotes are a real thing?
Bitch, I don't care if Sung Tzu said it.
It's a Mr. Ed quote. A horse once said.
Did you see it on Twitter?
Do you know Gump?
I saw it literally. I'm pretty sure I saw it in Capital. That's why I was like,
Oh,
Oh.
I'm looking. Yep, not seeing it.
I'm just doing some research my goddamn self.
No, listen. I'll text y'all the horse quote.
But what you came up with, whatever that was,
It wasn't
it's
even,
true.
I came up with that.
The horse does have the ability to swat the flies off for sure.
Yeah, and I definitely didn't. Somebody told me that. That's
funny.
now, what was that in reference to? Now,
he was saying
It's
to the
just the
90,
potential of the people to
the people realizing like, yeah, we fucking we are the people in control. They go,
Yeah.
these people are literally just succubuses. You can wipe them off our wipe off our body, but
I think what I also mean by like they're not worried about what we're saying is like they're not really worried about ideas anymore. They're worried. They would be worried if ideas turn into effective
Practice,
working.
momentum.
because they can co-opt
Practice.
anything. They
Well,
can co-opt
things that-
everything. That's what
Right.
they're built on. It's nothing but co-optation. You know,
Yeah.
it's like even the system of money. I think I mentioned this the last episode. Is like people create their own money.
Right.
People
Money
create their own.
was- yeah.
People create their own money, their own ideas, and all these things. But
So
then they just
there's
get
whole nations that
incorporated
traded
into.
fucking shells.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, no,
You know, that's what Pompoko is about. To the Miyazaki movie, or it's not a Miyazaki, it's a Takahata. But Pompoko is about these like raccoons who I forget the inciting incident, but they start like doing all these protests. Oh, it's about humans like encroaching on their habitat, and they start running these protests because they're like Tanuki, they're spirits, and so they have all these powers. They can shape shift into demons and all these stuff, and they just float through town and try to scare the people. And then after the first one of those, the people just start going out to like see the fun parade or whatever, and it's literally just like demons floating through their town. And it's just about how like movements like this get co-opted so easily, you know?
Right. Like, I wonder if we can give these demons smallpox blankets. How do we?
How do we figure out this problem?
If we can just make these into the astral world.
Right. How do we kill these fucking raccoons and then make it into a holiday?
That sounds like a sentence for real. That sentence took me back to the South. So is that coded language you just said?
Right.
Z's on like the 8th page of the Gazelle Wikipedia right
now. He's just like reference.
I'm literally in volume 1. I'm on page. I'm in 480.
At the bottom, like references in pop culture.
The controversies tab on horses on Wikipedia.
I'm finding
quick facts.
I'm finding so many different horse quotes that have nothing to do with I'm like, fly horse quote.
Like, cart before the horse.
Have you ever seen a horse fly?
Have you ever seen a carrot stick?
Shrek 2000.
But nah, that's like a thing of like, it makes me think of this, you know, obviously as we plunge deeper into this shit, like there's going to be more violent thoughts, expression, reaction directed towards people in power or presumed to be in power. And I always end up, and we all feel that, you know, we all have that feeling of just like, oh, wipe them all out. You know, if we all just wipe them all out, you know, we could have a new system tomorrow. Or there's even just the catharsis and the idea that, oh, just, you know, we just overthrow the government and the regime, and then whatever comes after that is sure to be better and great. But but it's like the reality is like, no, like, you know, like you could wipe out the whole ruling class today globally, and then you have an entire apparatus of thousands, millions of people underneath them that will just sink right back into the same logic.
It's like a corny cliche, but they call it a revolution for a reason. It's because you revolt, you come back around, people get into power, and then you slowly tick-tock back around. Now these niggas are the people who were once in power.
And that's why I love Subcomandante Marcos' framing of social rebels, you know, as opposed to revolutionaries. You know, because he's like, when most people are talking about revolution, they're talking about coups and just one regime after another. And the reality is, what we're trying to confront is a social logic. We're trying to confront a top-down, hierarchical, authoritarian social logic. That's what defines the economic. It's what defines the political. It's what defines our home lives. You know, it's like it runs through everything. And like, to be a social rebel is to push back against that logic of domination with the logic of cooperation and like radical democracy and so on and so forth.
Well, how do you apply that program to a nation this big, or in any city? To an entire, like, a city is like New York City. How do you apply a program of or no, fuck that. Yeah, a nation as big as this, where differing ideologies exist. How do we get? I guess that's the hump that I said. I'm like, how do you apply that to everybody, or even get them? I guess you need war.
I feel like you have to deal with labor and.
Kill these guys.
Well, I think it has to be generative. You have to like generate something for people, and that's why I always come back to labor and the land and housing, like what people would deem, you know, essential, you know, goods or their essential needs being met. You know, but if you can start to do that, build sort of like a parallel infrastructure that addresses the social, the economic, and the political in a cooperative, democratic, so on and so forth way. You're basically creating a new world in the shell of the dying one that stands as an example of what could be. And once people can see something that's living and breathing in that way, that then we're talking about the potential for movement. And when we're talking about potential for movement, we're talking about potential for systems change.
Well, what's funny is that happens all the time. That people go off and build, they do that, but they just get called cults, and then the FBI is like, we're going to fuck you niggas up. And then everybody's like, all right, I guess we're going to take these poison pills. And then
well, look, in any context, though, I think that's true, right? Like, say in like just in a entrepreneurial or business context, it's like the thing of, oh, this institution is fucked up, we hate it, let's go over here and we're going to start our own quote unquote business, whatever. And then they just reproduce the same top-down hierarchical logic. They're closed off, it's like super centralized. There's all these different factors that lead them to reproducing the shit that made them pissed off to begin with, and I feel like that's another component of it. It's like whatever effort for doing something different, like whatever emerges in that way, it has to be grounded in ideas around not just like cooperation and democracy or whatever, but also like having the shit be open, like to people outside of just the initial people who quote unquote get it.
Right.
Like there might be the first wave that gets it, and you have this thing of, oh, well, this is nice and we've made it work out for us. But the difference between a cult or this isolated thing and something that's for systems change is whatever that effort is, trying to bring more people in or connect, go outward,
help other people.
It's like you're trying to do similar shit over there. You don't have to join our shit, but we'll give you resources and guide you. Because as long as you're doing this with each other, then we're in alignment and we can support each other.
It's federation. The cults are very insulated.
Right.
Yes. Right. Yeah. And also hierarchical a lot of the time.
Yeah, there's profit.
Yeah.
Right.
But to me, that it also like kind of goes back to like earlier when we were talking about people having to fix themselves. Society's like addicted to consumer culture, like psychologically addicted to our culture, like to the point where like the whole of society would need like a rehab almost to get off of it's dopamine. I neurologically feel this way. You can't even control that. It's you can, but you need to get off of it.
Right.
But like even the amount of deprogramming and like becoming a better like I feel like a lot of times where it is for me is like I got to become a better person. I got to like actually I cannot say something and then I personally wouldn't attest. I wouldn't participate in it because I still like going out hanging out with my friends. I still like my value system is still superficial, and a lot of this consumer culture creates superficial values. And I feel like we have you got to start almost
100%
so deep psychologically with niggas. So like it's
100%
the material infrastructure.
I also, not because you are, but I also think we underrate how adaptable human beings are and how quickly they can change when
you look at the cultural component. You might not be there, but it makes it a whole lot easier if you're looking around and seeing millions of people that are moving in a certain way. You go, well, shit, I want to be over here.
Oh yeah,
and you can get moving and acting, not having the whole picture, and still be servicing something that's liberatory.
That's why the 2020 protests were popping. Niggas was guilted into going to protest. All right, everyone's gonna do it. All right, I'll do it. Right. Free George Floyd. What the fuck?
Fuck it. Everybody's gonna do it.
I'm gonna be ACAB. Fuck the police. Honestly,
right. So imagine if it was like the same scale of popularity of something like that, but it's actually something, for lack of a better word, revolutionary. Something that's dealing with labor, land, whatever. Like, let's say everyone's quitting their jobs right now or not getting work. The Great Resignation. That's what they're calling it over here. In China, it's called the Lie Flat movement. It's like, imagine all of these people, and it's like mostly a lot of young people. It's a lot of young people. Imagine all of these people coming together and being like, let's figure out how to live comfortably and like not have it be this workerish bullshit.
Yeah. Get in, bitch. We're federating.
No, like literally, we're figuring out. Okay, we're getting land and we're getting property. We're decommodifying it, and thousands of us are going here. And like, this is how we're gonna try and work with each other. And this is how it's gonna connect to people over here. It's like just that energy, it starts with that energy to me.
Yeah.
If you're working a shitty job, you don't know fuck all about decision making, quote unquote politics or whatever the fuck, but you see that there are thousands of young people that don't have a boss and they don't have landlords. And they're eating well and they're living comfortably. You're gonna go, how the fuck are y'all doing that?
It's a TikTok house. You can join. We all just got to make 10,000 TikToks a day.
I do think the cult thing's interesting though, because now that I think about like cults are also super authoritarian and hardworking. Like all the people don't get paid and they work a ton. Like my girlfriend's really into cults, and like I'll listen to podcasts and they'll be like, yeah, we were barely getting any sleep and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's all intentional to keep them like submissive and shit.
Yeah.
So if you're building something where it's a bunch of people that are like, I don't want to work, then it's like, it's pretty hard to like, you know, get a cult going, I feel like.
Yeah, no, that is fair. Yeah.
And if it's open.
I'm not going to discount the potential for cult making in this country, but I get what you're saying. It's like, it's all about how you frame it and how you incentivize it.
Well, there's
That's
a lot
the thing.
of paternalism in cults too.
Exactly. And but you're also getting at that. You're like 10 TikToks a day or whatever. You can very easily see how these different structures can be manipulated in that way with certain bad actors or with whatever. I mean, but that's any type of organization. Period. Period. Any type of organization. If you're talking about a capitalist business, you're talking about an intentional community. If you're talking about a commune, whatever the fuck, there's always going to be people trying to manipulate that organization or those efforts to get something out of it, to have more power, have more control. That's why I always just zero in on the hierarchy thing, the democracy thing, the cooperation thing. Because if those things are in everyone's minds all the time,
it's pretty hard to
it makes it extremely hard for those people to even to come in and, you know, for people to take what they're saying seriously, because they're equipped with the understanding that, oh no, this isn't going to be a top-down thing ever. Like, we're actually checking in with each other. We're saying like, "Yo, what do you need? Are you good? Like, how I have this right now. Can I help you in any way? Like, let's get Craig a house."
I also think there should be a little threat of violence on the table. Just, you know, like, hey nigga, we're trusting you, but we will reserve the right to fuck you up. We're peace, utopia, but we will fuck you up, nigga.
Well, it's like there is that's the other thing. You said you used the word utopian the other day, or utopia the other day, and it's like, you know, that's not to say that we shouldn't have this an idea that we're moving towards, but it's like we all know there is no perfect in period. There's not going to be perfect. Literally. And that's what a lot of cults though they try and frame it though as if that is what they are.
Figured it out.
Well, they figured it out, and like
they recreate that religion structure. You know, that's all it is. It's just like on a smaller scale.
Right.
It's actually it's
perfect
an active
in here.
project. It's an infinite active project of development.
It's perfect in here. And then it's like, if you start picking on any potential flaws, that's a threat to the. I mean, that's why even in revolutionary movements, a lot of political parties end up being like cults, because they get into this party mindset that's not about serving the quote unquote people or the quote unquote masses or whatever those values are. It becomes about protecting the party, the institution, which is really about protecting the people at the top of a pyramid, because the whole thing is structured hierarchically. So it's like
to the pyramid.
Yeah, what happens when you start with the cylinder? What happens when you start with the circle? What happens
top of a circle? Ain't no top of a pyramid. I mean, top of a circle.
The great circles of Egypt.
Fall off the top of the circle.
The great spheres.
This definitely sounds like sacred
geometry.
Communism, sacred Hotep. Brother,
my brothers and sisters, there is no top part of a circle.
In a tesseract, there's no.
Have you ever Googled a tesseract on Wikipedia? Like, that shit is just a square going in on itself.
It's fucking doing a square doing the worm.
Yeah, it is. It's literally
that shit is. I know I keep saying shit is deep, but it really is, man, because you can get so caught up in the fucking weeds of like political labels and identities, and like I feel like when I personally really understood, when it's like I had the master key to all this shit, it was when I understood what hierarchy is, what I understood what power was, you know, because then then you look at the whole thing and you just see the overlaps, the commonalities, regardless of what people might call themselves. It's like, oh, well, how are y'all doing shit over, how are y'all doing business this way? Oh, that's exploitative. There's a boss over here. That's not going to help anybody.
Yeah, right.
Oh, like, and then you start to become a stickler for like, hierarchy. You start to see there's
all the hierarchy.
Yeah, and you see the seeds even for hierarchy. You're like, this
Right.
could turn into a little bureaucratic thing in 10 years. You know,
Right.
like these three people here have a lot of informal, power
Right.
in this space, influence in this space, and they're not trying to distribute that.
Right.
And no one's talking about that.
They have that they're
Right.
hoarding power and shit. And so like,
Right.
Then you see like you said, you see hierarchy everywhere. Like you'll see it once you go from the corporations and society, then you'll see it in families and
your
you'll see
family,
it
right.
fucking, it's just like, damn, you gotta combat it from the get. This
Right.
shit is introduced to us as
Right.
and it's like, but it's only social conditioning. It's like fucking like you said, people have the ability. People are elastic. They can have the ability to be like, oh, you showed me a better way.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Why did I not thank you?
Yeah,
And that's what we were talking about. Is like
yesterday.
Is like this shit is actually how shit started. So it's not.
Yeah.
It's not taking something and then being like, all right, we have to figure out how to get people. It's just you got to like kind of get the plaque off.
Yes,
Get back-
Yeah.
the cooperation is already
Yeah.
here. We already do it with
Yeah.
each other every day.
Watch the
Right.
fucking power out go in this building and then see how hierarchical shit gets.
We should-
Right.
You know,
Right.
like watch all the fucking power grid and Wi-Fi
Right.
and water
You
go
turn the
down.
Wi-Fi off.
Right.
Niggas,
Who's in charge now?
Right. As
we
the
need to figure this out together
now.
As the grand tenant of the top floor, I hereby decree that all lower floors.
You'll find those funny people. You will find those people.
Right.
But it's like, dude, everyone's like, shut the fuck up.
I'm not
Right.
gonna lie
You know?
though. As long as I make more money in the apartment, hierarchy exists because I'm keeping that AC on, bitch. AC stays on. Test my authority. And I see hierarchy everywhere in my own life. Nigga.
Like for
Yo,
example,
but that goes back to this shit because hierarchy is seasonal, bro. Hierarchy is seasonal. That shit moves in waves,
It does.
bro.
Once
That shit moves in waves.
My roommate that's been
That's
chopping
just-
wood is about to be in charge in the winter
Nigga,
time.
one promotion is
Right.
over for me. I'm
That's just you're forming a band of hunters for the summer, and then when wintertime comes, that shit redisperses.
That's like how where I used to work, people that got hired after me, just because they were like doing slightly better, they started becoming in charge of us. They were like making them managers and shit.
Oh, bro, I was a
yeah.
20-year-old in front of LA, in front of a gym, in charge of a gym. Everybody was 40 and up.
Wow.
Literally, I had a staff of 20, and I was 20 years old. I just charmed the fuck out of the OM. This nigga was
so
like,
funny.
it was peak Obama phase, so this nigga saw me. He was like, oh, I got me one. Fucking put me in charge. Oh. These niggas had no idea. I got arrested for smoking weed on the job. I was like,
Wait, really? Where are you smoking? In the back?
in my car parked up next to the
Eating a Crunchwrap Supreme?
Really? I think the OM is getting arrested. I was like, yo, make sure you call Johnny to do overtime.
Speaking of gym, like I was just laughing earlier, like how like people can just try to find like the best way to do a lat pull down and end up a Nazi now because of like how fitness overlaps with like reactionary. Because I'll like follow a lot of fitness guys.
Real quick, Connor,
yeah.
he has a thing in his hair. You mind getting it out?
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah.
It's a little moss.
Oh,
Thank God. Oh man, it happens. You know,
It happens.
It's
It
part of
does
the
happen.
ecology
yeah.
thing.
I became
gets
one
on
with
you.
the set.
It happened. Yeah, it's like
Yo.
a christening. Like we all
Yeah.
have.
I mean, we're all-
somewhere probably.
Yeah,
We're all-
Z
we're
had
all
shown
part
me
of nature,
sweater
bro.
For like
Yeah.
half the episode.
We're all part of nature.
That honestly, that's what I've been getting. I'm like, I just want to do shrooms and be part of grass.
It is a beautiful thing when you think about that. Like when we like recording this and then we get covered.
Oh, I take a little bit of this at
right.
home every single time.
yeah, I love
On
that.
my
actually,
socks.
yeah.
That's you got it.
Touch some grass, dog. Fuck
Yeah.
that. I'm trying to be some grass.
Nigga, bury me.
Not
But,
to
like-
derail.
But well, I'm just saying, it's like people just they get rejected by girls, they start working out, and then half the workout guys now are like Hellenistic, like Aristotle motherfuckers.
Stoic.
Yeah.
They all, it's
Yeah.
that Sigma
Right.
male, alpha male shit and took over their brains.
Yeah.
Where they think that's like an actual thing. It's literally not.
Right.
And that whole it's their marketing to, once again, disaffected fucking microplastics in their blood as fucking just teen kids who don't They got nothing. All they are is in front of their computer. They're depressed. They live in this society, so obviously they have so much wrong with them. And they're just your problems are other people, but you got to go in and you got to like that, which is truly the correct answer. Is you do have to go inside yourself and be like, oh man, this is the problem.
That's
what you got to do.
These fuckers are syncretic though. They know how to latch on to any rhetoric from any corner of the political spectrum and then use it for their own gains.
It's crazy how many. It's crazy how many guys I'll see that are like really handsome and they are fucking chiseled like Greek gods, and they're like, I've never had sex.
Yeah.
And I'm 20 years old. And you're like, wow, you look like you're 35 and you look like a god.
What you got to do is you got to look inwardly, and then you got to pump all that pain away. Bud.
I have
you got to pump
so much cum inside.
Yeah, exactly.
my veins, all these veins, cum.
I don't actually have these muscles. This is all cum weight. This is all cum weight.
Do not poke me. You do not.
I've sprung a leak.
Them semen retention niggas.
Oh my god.
No Nut November.
That's immediate. That's when they lost me. I was like, I'll never be an inside. I'll never retain my semen. I'll spill extra cum to make up for the cum y'all are. Stupid motherfucker.
No, but this is unrelated. It's sort of tangential to cum.
Isn't it all?
Yeah. Nah, but it makes me wonder kind of, and I guess I'm going super macro and like abstract with this question, but like all this shit we're talking about, power and like hierarchy and like all this stuff that a majority of people just assume is the way, but that we know is silly and that, is tied into values that aren't good for the human species and other forms of life. Like, it does make me wonder at times, like, how many people whatever class they're in, economic class they're in, how many people, if they could get past the distractions and the noise and get to some of these ideas, how many of them would sort of go, wait, no, this does make sense.
I think a lot of them, because
all of them.
Yeah.
You ever see?
I definitely don't think all of them, because people.
Almost all of them.
Have you ever seen?
There are villains out here for sure.
Sure,
yeah.
Have you ever seen Florida polling? Whenever they get the chance to do direct democracy, and actually vote on policies instead of like a politician, they literally always choose the most leftist. They're like, yeah, I want to paid Medicare. We need this. They literally, when they get to choose on their own, and they're not propagandized by some guy being like, they're trying to teach your kid about goddamn CRT. Look at that.
Right.
They're not distracted from like culture war bullshit. And they can actually choose their like material conditions. They most times, like 75% and up, choose leftist policies. This is like in Florida, where Ron DeSantis is, where it's pretty Republican place. They'll choose, when they're not tricked, they choose leftist stuff. So I kind of do have faith in people. I think naturally, when you're not like, I think Americans are, and all of us are conditioned, propagandized to the point where it's made us bad people. So you become selfish. But once that goes away, I think I don't know why. This is what I think. I think people are good and they want to commune. Hanging out with friends. It feels good. Partying with people you love feels good. So making a living and like making things work.
Being selfish is just an illusion. Like, you're only as selfish as much as you can get away with it and think you're getting away with it. Like the amount of people everyone relies on a day-to-day basis is insane.
Yeah. Well, it's also like the people always use that as an argument against what we're talking about. They say people are selfish, or people are like, they cite like outliers, like you mentioned psychopaths the last episode. It's like people use that as a way,
exception as the rule.
They use that to say we need this whole broad structure of like criminal, like punitive criminal shit to cover all the just in case situations. And the reality is, people are selfish, but you have to frame it and you have to reframe it to where, like, you realize, not even why are you selfish, but you realize that it's more in your interest to be cooperative and work with the people around you than to say,
that was my point. It's like not making a moralistic argument for the shit. No,
Right.
You're gonna be good. You're gonna live good. You're gonna eat good. And it's going to be because you worked with other people.
Yes.
The sense of self-preservation. You're going out the wrong way. You can still be you can still preserve yourself, but do it with people. And it's
Right.
that way.
Yeah.
Right. It's like I wake up every day and I think about how wild it is that, like, I mean, and I don't know how to phrase this where it doesn't sound like a kind of lame ass argument, but I think about how weird it is that, like, I have to get up and cook for myself every day, and I don't even like cooking like that. And just like, there's got to be some type of arrangement where we got a communal situation where the people that like to cook just can cook.
I mean,
and just like little shit like that.
Or
I'm just like,
making you do unpaid labor.
yeah, it's like we gotta.
No,
like,
I mean, yes.
Well, yes,
that exists on this. There are communal arrangements in place on this planet.
Like
you might have to clean the dishes.
Yes, exactly. Like, right. It's like 3 times a day I gotta get up and do this, and it makes me feel like. Especially when you
so fucking funny, but
and what
so
when the people who cook want, right? It's like let's just start there.
Exactly. Let's
you
trade off
for me.
like
I do shit for you. What are you doing?
And especially when you contextualize it with what I was saying yesterday of like this matrix battery shit, where I'm like working from home and I can order food or I can cook for myself or whatever, and you start to get in this cycle of just like, if I'm doing all this shit for myself and I'm also working outsourcing my work to somebody else that I'm not even seeing every day, what the fuck am I doing it for? And you get into that space where you're just like, I'm gonna kill myself. What is this for? What am I doing?
You know when you're off and you don't have to you don't go to work and you just like, I have my day, and you don't have things to do, and it's just your day, and you're just like, oh, this is the human experience. This is what I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be doing something. I'm just supposed to be. I'm just supposed to exist.
I'm looking at a leaf.
I'm not. I shouldn't. I literally dead ass. But
y'all describing being on mushrooms.
No,
That's what y'all are describing.
I'm dead ass. I pay attention to my thoughts. We all do. I'm not saying nothing new.
Wait, you pay attention to your thoughts?
Listen.
Hey, somebody's got to.
Someone's got to watch this guy's thoughts.
I used to didn't. That's why. I was like 28 when I was like, holy shit, there's a voice up here. What the fuck? Have I been talking this whole time? So dead ass.
What you been saying, bro?
But literally, when I'm working, like I notice as soon as I get up, I have to commute to work. I got to brush my teeth. The brain waves, the brain state I'm in is it's in this frantic. I don't want to call it frantic, but it's like
no, it's adrenaline. It is adrenaline.
I'm stressed. I literally feel like, okay, brush your teeth. All right, get dressed. Okay, it's not nothing crazy, but it's like there's an urgency to everything I do. There's a deep focus to everything I do, but also I'm not truly paying attention.
You're on autopilot.
Yeah.
Literally,
right.
And it's like I'm doing that 5 days a week, and then weekend comes, I don't even realize I'm still in autopilot. I got 2 weeks off, and I didn't do anything. And like by the second day, and I realized it's like 11 a.m., and I'm just like, oh my God, the tension in my entire body, my brain, it's relaxed. This is how I'm supposed to operate. I can make clear decisions. I can talk. I'm not anxious.
Right.
There's so many things about me right now that how I'm operating. This is clearly how I'm supposed to be. And then when I go back to work and I realize I'm clenched, the whole not like physically,
tense,
but like
just,
there's a difference. There's like I can, after having that time off of like where I can feel the unstress going to work. I'm like, oh, I can feel my brain being like deep focused for 8 hours. I can feel my body tighten up. It's not natural.
Yeah.
It does not. I'm like, this is not natural. I'm supposed to give myself time to just be.
Especially when you apply that to like creative shit, where it's like, I work in a writing job, and I don't want to put your job on the spot. Yeah. I've worked in these spaces too, where it's like you're expected to sit and be creative for 8 hours. Not even, and that is not to say that is not to say like everything we do is not creative, but like this is specifically like we have to sit and write.
It's taking a vice
stories
to both
or
sides
like
of your brain. It's like
exactly.
It's like that should be happening.
Right.
Something funny.
Fucking C-clamp to the brain.
Right.
We keep pushing it more and more. Something really funny is going to shoot out eventually.
It's like take the creative side and just push it against the technical.
Push it left and right
Legit.
brain, just mash them together, just kind of.
And you have to produce. What's fucked up is you have to produce. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like you're doing that because sometimes when you're writing, you do that to focus. You're like, oh, I need to. Hey, sit your ass down, create, and you do that for yourself.
Right.
But when it's every day, regimented, nigga.
That's why I've not done shit with my life because I could never do that shit. I hate that shit. Even with TikTok, TikTok's the easiest shit in the world. They're like, you need to post 3 dimes a day, and that's how you're gonna grow. I'm like, I can't if I don't feel funny 3 different times a day.
Right.
I'm not even doing that. I can't imagine doing 40 hours of being just.
The show must go on, motherfucker.
Right.
This is show business, nigga. Business.
I can only show. I can only show.
But honestly, like literally, I mean, I really like. I'm into like old fucking cultures. Like I'm talking primordial. I literally like. Please tell me everything I need to know about primordial man. Like what were we used to do? I want to know the niggas who were drawn in the caves. Why did they do that? What? Because they literally.
What was their sleeping schedule?
We live out patterns.
Enough. It was enough.
We still live out as humans. We live out those patterns that they did. We've created culture that they knew. Let me not speak. They had even though they were in fucking bronze or not even though they were lived way back in the day, they still had a quality of life that was better because they literally lived in unison with actual life. We have like made this man-made bullshit, and we have these patterns and things we need to live out and be, but we can't do it because we live in a box.
And what needs to be clear about those people is that like those were conscious decisions that they made. It's not like they couldn't have created these like systems of domination, and they did rise and get like dealt with, but they also had the imagination. They had actuarial intelligence, which is the knowledge that this little gesture can balloon out, snowball out into this. If you read about indigenous people, like all the examples.
I don't want to, but actually, this moment, I just wanted to drop the note of like. Throughout human history, it's different things going on in different places and different times.
It's like it's complicated and
so you have to like pinpoint. If you want to talk about that, it's helpful to pinpoint specific. I'm not. No, it's not a critique. I'm just saying in general because the general themes of what y'all are saying is right. It's like even like the particulars aside. If we go back a few 400, 500 years or something. Shit, not even that far. We go 100 years back. Let's go to the mid 20th century. There were institutions and customs and things going on in the world in general that were conducive to being, in tune with non-human nature, to being in community. We talk about organized religion all the time. It's fucked up, but at least, you had a church of people that fed you and that it was a community beyond the nuclear family that took care of you and that put these different values in. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to say. Because there's sticklers listening.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I actually major in anthropological studies, and I can reframe what it's not helpful what you're doing right now.
And to reframe what I'm saying.
I hate those people, but I hear them in my head as we're talking.
And I know me how I talk. I just be like, man, and then like you know what I mean. You like around the area, the horse and the fly. There was a horse and the fly. I didn't even mean bronze. I was like, fuck, why did I say it?
No, but in the Bronze Age though, though.
But no, but I even meant before Bronze Age. I meant like I'm talking like when niggas was barely communicating. But
to your point though, even in the Bronze Age, niggas there were more communal and cooperative elements to how people were living with each other. So it's your point is still true.
And the point I was making is like not so much to say that everybody in the past was so myopically anti-hierarchical or just like
because that's not true. There are indigenous societies that were extremely hierarchical and authoritarian.
It's just the fact is they had the capacity to achieve the entire spectrum of what humans are capable of because they had access to their whole human human creativity because they had the freedom to experiment with those things and know what works for them. There were societies right next to each other that this one was more egalitarian, this one was strictly hierarchical.
And there wasn't an American war machine coming to deliver democracy.
Exactly. And it's like, and it's not so much to say those people are better or more egalitarian than us. It's to say that we now don't even have the imagination to picture what
all the,
to reach all those potentialities.
Yeah. Right. It's like knowing, understanding the potentialities first. Okay. It's not to say that humans are only this way or they're only this way. No, we are a lot of different things, and we can do a lot of different things, and it's not all bad. It's just not.
The same way the same way that human evolution is based upon diversity, the diversity of ideas and thoughts and
social organization,
how we live. There needs to be diversity
and diversity of thought that's not boiled down to I should be allowed to be fascist if I want to. Like I should be allowed to want to murder you. It's just a difference of an opinion. We should be able to share a stage together where it's just a difference in opinion.
So you're gonna get mad if I say nigger up here?
You're gonna get mad if
are you gonna get mad?
Why do I feel like that literally happened to you?
I've had literally my first year of comedy was
that's some comedy scene shit that I
I
know tap out.
No, that's why I'm like when people say I'm a comedian, I'm like I'm not in there. I'm sorry. Whatever that is,
you have no idea how bad it is. It is like literally.
Talk about it.
You can't imagine.
What?
Dog,
Nigga,
we're here in New York City.
Nigga.
Let's fucking.
These niggas are awful. It's all they're fucking doing. Tim Allen jokes. I'm like, what the fuck?
I want y'all to really flesh this one out. I don't. Give a
you mean
fuck.
the fucking fascist, the radicalization of comedy? These niggas they've trafficked in right wing talking points. They've basically made comedy. They get on everybody for being like, this is just ideological comedy. You're just trying to say your point. And then a nigga go up there and be like, aren't Chinese people weird? And then everybody's like, thank you.
Dude, and it's John Mulaney's like the Charles Lindbergh of comedy right now.
But it sounds, and to them it sounds like we're pushing some type of ideology because they're just reinforcing one that already exists. It's like
I'm like Charles Lindbergh. Is that the Lindbergh babe? I'm going through everything.
He wasn't like, but he was, but he was fucking hanging out. That type of shit.
He's just an enabler, man.
Yeah. No.
Real quick though, just a quick side note. I don't mean to backtrack, but this word showbiz, it's gone now. It's like super old tweet, but I tweeted Jerry Seinfeld when I was like a freshman in college. This is like back in 2013 when Comedians in Cars first came out. And even when I was like 18 years old, I was like, hey, I tweeted this and I added him. I go, hey, Jerry Seinfeld's worth $1 billion. Why is this show sponsored by Acura? And he goes, because it's not show fun. And it took me like years. Yeah, he replied.
Do you have a screenshot of that? I need that on a T-shirt.
He goes, because it's not show fun. And I was like,
not in support of him.
Damn.
But like to point out how insane.
I don't even grammatically understand what you mean.
What's the deal with show being fun? It's not supposed to be fun. We're making money.
And I was like, oh, he means not show biz. It's show. It's not show fun. It's show biz. It took me forever.
Right.
But yeah, I remember being like, wow, Jerry Seinfeld replied to me. And now like I'm like, wow, Jerry Seinfeld replied to me
with that. He got right to the point.
He like zinged it, and there were people like, tell him, Jerry, like in the replies. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, the fascists and
Palestine doesn't exist, and I'm supporting the IDF.
I don't care what it is as long as it's funny.
Acura!
We're just in cars drinking coffee.
He has bad hands.
Does he even go that high? I'm like, now I'm wondering, like, damn.
It's just this. Just what are we? What? It's just that.
Wow.
God damn.
You were saying something though. You were basically mapping out the right wing reactionary comedy landscape.
It's funny you bring up Seinfeld because I think it all started with Kramer saying "nigga" that one time, and
that did fracture the multiverse.
Yeah, it did go. It all was like Kramer said "nigga."
That's real.
Yeah,
Kramer said "nigga," and then fucking ever since then, comedy's been
I think my friend should be able to say "nigga."
Jerry,
I personally don't
funny. Yeah, that was really the first.
I personally don't find the humor in it, and I'm not looking for it. But I think my friend, I support my friend's right to use the word nigger.
He didn't just say "there's a nigger." He said, "Look, there's a nigger.
He's a nigger.
He's a nigger.
He's a nigger."
Did you say "look"?
If we say this enough times, it's getting ripped off everything.
It's getting coming off YouTube.
Oh damn! You can't
because we don't control the platforms. Remember?
Yeah, you can't even say that. You can't.
And then boom, promo.
I said that. I was gonna say that.
Editors, cue the Digital Zion promo right now, please.
Right.
Yeah.
Platforms like YouTube, Patreon, Spotify, they're all ass. They don't respect your privacy, they're riddled with ads, and they're completely silent and unreachable when you need help. Have you ever talked to somebody at YouTube? Think about that. I sure haven't. To top it all off, we don't control them at all, despite being the reason they exist.
So that's why we're partnering with a design and development agency called Sanctuary Computer to build our own cooperative alternatives that bring the best features of all those platforms together and that we can control together too.
We seriously got to have an exodus to some sort of digital Zion that we build ourselves. Somewhere where all of us can actually have a say over the technology that we're using to communicate with each other. For more on how you can support us all in getting off these shitty platforms, visit opencollective.com/digital Zion and tap in.
Just because these dystopian systems are eating themselves alive
doesn't mean they gotta take us with them. Speaking of Seinfeld, I feel like it is kind of an outgrowth of his mentality in a lot of ways, because he has always promoted this idea of like, he really has said like, I don't care what it is, it's as long as it's funny, you know. It's just I think you just priority is just stupid. To be, and it's like, and look, you can respect Seinfeld as much as you. I personally think John Mulaney has written more jokes in Seinfeld's style than Seinfeld ever has. He's still doing jokes from 30 years ago and putting out specials where the premise is that I'm retiring these jokes. I'm doing it for the last time. But I think like people take those
which is so funny.
Yeah,
like,
right.
There's gems he's got to hang in the rafters.
Exactly.
And it's literally
right. He's got to retire.
Like, the airport's slow. Like,
Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts.
Oh, you know they're making a whole movie based on that with Amy Schumer and shit. Oh, I swear to God, I'll pull it up.
Oh my God, bro. Do you remember being like a young comic and people showing you that clip of him talking about like
it. I remember I bought the DVD.
Yeah, when he's like he's got the little yellow legal pad. Like, I've been working on this one for 2 years. 2 years just moving this word around, this word over here, and
what could you possibly say?
Like, what is that? What else is there?
It's so funny because his life, people have his entire comedy career, like every word he's written as a joke can be summed up on somebody's Twitter feed.
Yeah,
and like it's half their tweets.
Yeah,
it's like nigga, you made $1 billion off of what could be a bad Twitter account. Yeah. Literally,
I want to speak to that notion, that sentiment that Seinfeld expressed of like, oh well, as long as it's funny or whatever. That dovetails into this related thing of like, and I think you kind of spoke to it just a few minutes ago, but just this thing of whenever there's a critique against a comedian,
is it
for the messaging and what they're saying, the attempted smoke screen is like, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
It's just a joke, and I'm making people laugh. But it masks. Yeah. I just want to make this point. It masks the reality that you're saying something though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the people are responding in a certain way because of what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's this really bizarre. Yeah. It's like it almost every time I see it, it feels like I'm in the Twilight Zone. It's like, okay, it was a joke, but you had a point, didn't you?
That is, but
you had a point. You were making a point. Yeah. So now people are responding to the point behind your joke. Mm-hmm. So let's not use that as to distract from that. Yeah. What was the point you were making?
And also, as long as it's funny thing is true, your shit's not funny.
Yeah. And I'll say the only person I've seen, the only comedian I've seen actually frame it in this way explicitly is Jabuki. That's the only comedian I've really seen specifically get to this point that I'm making right now.
Oh, I say all the time. I let like literally my first year. This is like a whole Facebook status I had. I was like, I'm black before I'm a comedian. I just need to let y'all know.
Right.
Because if you say nigga on stage, the black part of me is gonna react before the comedian. I'm not gonna be like, oh well, you know. I've never been one of those people who this whole fraternity situation.
Yes.
We all have
bro. Like,
no, it's just like the party line.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I was just talking about with political parties.
Right.
It's like, no, this is our thing, and we have to preserve this at all costs.
The sanctity of comedy is
right. Like, who gives a fuck? And also to refer back to your point, like they have this attitude of like, I was just making a joke. And therefore the meaning has no value. But also, when somebody critiques them, the critique half the time is they're not funny.
Yeah.
And therefore, what they're saying has no meaning. So which of those things actually means anything?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
If my shit doesn't mean anything because it's funny and your shit doesn't mean anything because it's not funny, then what the fuck are we talking about? Nothing has any value. Nothing means anything anymore.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And knowing the history of, and I don't want to, again, I don't want to derail, but like, knowing the history of comedy in the Western world, knowing that it came out of, not that to say that niggas weren't making each other laugh before Athenian democracy, but like looking at how in Athenian democracy, it was an inherently political thing. And there were figures that these same type of like, oh, it's just a joke or, oh, whatever. Like there were right-wing comedians, you know, in Athenian democracy, but the general trend was there's this old established order and it's ass. These systems, these leaders, the way that they're doing shit here is ass.
That's the
and we're gonna clown them.
And
we're gonna clown them, and the masses laughed at it because they said, "No, these people suck."
Right.
So, like in 2022, to see the discourse at this level is just like, what are we talking about?
Well, that's what these comedians think they're doing. They think they are rebels. They genuinely do.
And these types of people existed in Athenian democracy too, which is so funny. Like,
and bro, I keep saying like when you start comedy, people have this people have this reverence for comedians where they say like, well, the comedian is the only guy who can talk shit to the king's face, and he can't do anything. And in my mind, it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff you hear in the first years of comedy where you're like, oh yeah, that really means something. And then 10 years in, I'm just like, how do you get that close to the king in the first place?
Yeah.
Why is the king so okay with having him around? Why does the king have no problem with him saying all that shit? Because he's not doing shit. He's not it has no value because he's saying it to the man who has. He's like
it's not Lenny Bruce.
He's like hand delivering these criticisms to the man he's critiquing so that he can co-opt those
free
things.
Speech warriors. It's always the funniest argument because it's like they're free. They're trying to say slurs. This is a long. It's a long-winded point, but we live in America. America's base ideology is for white male patriarchy. It's based off of white male capitalism. That's the literal. Collective consciousness that they're all trying to protect this idea of white male supremacy. It trickles down into comedy where we are literally they're becoming less relevant. White men are becoming less and less relevant, and the style of jokes that they use. More people of color are coming into comedy, and they're like, "Yo, we're not fucking with this." Bullshit. That's not even funny. It's isn't. It's like 80s and 90s punchlines. That's the most egregious part about it. The jokes are corny. You're being corny and you're fucked up. Yeah. And so they're witnessing. They're just witnessing their circle in entertainment shrink and shrink and shrink, and it's still huge. It's still fucking huge. It's the quote that where like when you've been doing damn it. I'm not doing no goddamn quote, but
just paraphrase. Paraphrase.
It's paraphrase.
But basically, like whenever someone's taking something from you, when you've been like when you've been dominant so long, and someone starts taking something from you, it feels like oppression or something like that.
Right.
And so it's feeling like oppression, and this is them yelling. Can you believe that they're like? I'm not getting a pilot based off of this bullshit ass idea that
Tyler Fisher.
Oh my god. He's the most.
Tyler Fisher.
He's the most fucking extreme example. He's like he would have never, even if it was all white people in entertainment, that nigga would have never made
right.
Like, but because there's a market for
cancel culture.
And yeah, you just mentioned those buzzwords. The fucking
fucking vampire guy, Tony something or other.
Oh, Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
Oh my
dog.
He's crazy.
He's a vampire.
Crazy.
Bro.
That's like stooge for the
Fucking
Nazis
freak,
type shit.
man.
Hans
Like
Kim,
he's just like,
bro.
Right.
Bro.
He would.
yeah, no, he would literally
He'd be
at the
uniformed up.
Nazi rally on the stage making everybody laugh.
Yeah.
His
Right.
opener, Joe Rogan's new opener, and I don't look. I'm going to talk shit. This is going to happen. But I wish this man. I'm happy for his success because I know that as a comic, coming out of, I know how poor this man was. I know how down and out he was. He's still an awful person, but
I'm not going to make a point. I just want to help. I feel like with what you're going to say, I feel like the framing of good faith and bad faith is helpful. Like, because you see, because we don't know really, I don't know Joe Rogan. I don't know any of these niggas, right? All you can go off of is their actions and the shit that they're saying and the shit that they're doing and the shit that they're not doing. So it's like, yeah, I feel like that's helpful. I feel like what you're about to say is in good faith. Even if it's a critique, it's not this thing of like,
yeah, I don't want to hate on a
Yeah.
nigga for no reason. I just know this.
some of these niggas are 100% too far gone, but
oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
this
there's no
this
no
nigga
saving. Yeah,
is-
right.
And I don't even want to say he's beyond safe because he's very intelligent. That's what fucks me up about this. He's actually very intelligent and cognizant and is an aware person, very aware of this empire. That being said, when he first was doing comedy in New York, we were all broke, fucking doing little mics. He was an incel. There's no like he was just an incel. He's
right.
He like just was fucking you could feel his anxiety,
Angry,
like it just like oozing off of him.
Right.
And like I'm a jovial person, so like I don't want to say like I'm just like a normal.
You are.
I'm a normie.
No, I just feel like I'm like a aloof, like ha, like I don't like that, like aloof, not like angry.
Happy-go-lucky,
That is a
Right.
yes, happy-go-lucky.
Right.
I'm a whimsical
Whimsy,
person.
perhaps.
I'm like a ditz. That's what it is. And I'm just like, oh, well, like nothing's going on up here. And he comes up with his fucking anger, and he's just like, you've never thought about kicking somebody off the train platform in front of a train? And the person I was with were like, no, nigga, what? And he was like, you kidding me? And he punches the wall. This is real life shit. We're at a mic. This nigga comes up angry. I don't know what the fuck is going on. He says some crazy shit like, we all have primal urges to do these things. These are our primal urges. And I was like, I've never had the urge to, like, he was justifying.
Nigga, what year was this?
This was 2017, 18 era. This
Dog,
nigga
that's
says
He
called
was
an
on
in-
the roids, man.
Bruh.
That's called an invasive thought.
This is why
people
this
do-
dude
people
runs
run
10 miles a
Intrusive
day, so
thought.
he's tired.
Intrusive thought.
Here's
People do have those.
this man's journey. Because that was him then. This man moves. He lives in a van. He travels. I think he like lives in a van for a while. Then he eventually moves to Austin, where all the comics are moving to Austin. You see Joe Rogan move to Austin. There's Kill Tony's there, and Kill Tony's going up. Did y'all ever hear of the comic named Ping Dang?
I saw that clip. Yeah,
That sounds familiar.
I think we
just
talked
the
about
Tony.
Yeah, the Tony
This is
Hinchcliffe.
the- yeah.
So
Yeah.
the whole.
So wait, the person who punched the wall was Joe Rogan or someone else?
It was Hans. It was Hans Kim.
Oh, okay, got you.
this is-
I'm
this is
sorry,
a
I'm following you now.
comic. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was Joe.
No,
I was
no.
confused
This
as
is
fuck, 'cause
I'm
I'm like,
bridging.
wow.
I'm about to bridge the gap. So Hans Kim was the guy who comes and he says hey, you guys never wanted to like kick somebody off of the train platform, and like it's a primal urges thing. And we're like, no, nigga, what the fuck? Storms out. He moves, comes to Austin, where Kill Tony is. Ping Dang goes up and kills Tony and gets off, and then Tony Hinchcliffe does the Asian hate slur. He's like going crazy. That whole viral.
That was fucking insane.
So after that whole racist thing, Tony Hinchcliffe gets Hans Kim to be his opener and to be a face of like, see, I'm not racist. I got this Asian guy opening for me. And still doing fucked up ass bigoted jokes.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term. They're bigoted jokes. But he's using Hans Kim to be the face of like, I'm not racist. And selling out. Hans Kim literally sells out. Now he's on the road opening for Joe Rogan. Like he flies on private jets. Hans is good. Hans is living good. But it's just like catering to comics are catering to
That's the point.
Yeah.
that whole
That's
right
the
wing.
point.
Well, there's a market for it.
That's
Yeah.
the point.
It goes back to the whole I feel like this whole everything ties in. The algorithm that's making everybody right wing fascist is the same thing. It's happening in different fragments of society.
Pipelining.
Literally every. You could probably go to a dentist office and feel like, yo, that dentist. There's. This is weird. Like,
I mean, it's
that
like
dentist definitely listens to Jordan Peterson.
right.
No, you mind if I put your no? Wait, no. Can you turn the radio?
It's like there's 12 rules for life, and I'll start with number 1.
Right. 9 out of 10 a dentist agree. We need more guns in school. No, but literally, so Hans Kim was like I just heard y'all bring up Tony Hinchcliffe, and it just like fucking brain, like,
brain
oh
blast.
my god,
Right.
you want to talk about the right wingification of every comic? Hans was a leftist comic. He would go on stage talking about the American Empire, or what I would deem, I don't want to say what his ideology was, but he would go on stuff that I'd be like, yeah, nigga, you know what the fuck is up. You just weird as hell, nigga. You got some issues. You got some shit. You got some shit on you right now, boy. Right. But and then to see his full evolution of watching him go from this one side of the political spectrum to literally opening up for the guy who is the catalyst for a lot of people's pipe. He's the pipeline for their right wing thoughts. Joe Rogan.
Well, this is so funny about. I feel like specifically stand-up. I don't do stand-up, but I feel like, the whole sanctity of comedy thing, isn't the whole point that you're in service to the audience, you're in service to making them laugh, like, to a degree? Like, I know there's a struggle between, like, being understood as an artist, as a stand-up, and then trying to make the audience laugh, and you're kind of trying to do both. But, like, if an audience isn't laughing at some shit anymore, that's just kind of, for lack of a better word, the kind of market, the audience telling you this shit is old, it's cycling out. And then now there's an alternative market of people that are trying to get that even worse than how it was before.
Yeah,
like,
and the issue with that is, like, there are people who are now, like, as a reaction to even left liberal or leftist comedy, I mean, they call it woke comedy, but it's literally anything that's just not racist. These are people that laugh at, like, transphobic, homophobic jokes specifically because they think you should be allowed to do it.
Yeah, it aligns.
It's not because it's funny.
It aligns with their thoughts. And
right.
It's like, this is what I believe. The jokes, literally, jokes aren't funny. But it's because it's what they believe that they're there to support. They're not there to support the comic. They're there to support the ideology that they all believe in.
Have their views reinforced.
And it's white. I'm telling you, it's based upon white supremacy. I cannot. And
I think there's a guilt element to it too, right? Yeah. Like there's this element of, like, and that anecdote or that story you just shared about
Hans,
like where he punched the wall. It's like, there's almost this element of, there's all these people in a society, and they all have same, if not similar, they're not going to have the same, but similar conditioning around certain ideas or values. And there's this element of, like, the people that get labeled quote unquote woke. It's so complex. I'm literally, as I'm speaking, I'm trying to think about how to explain it in an accessible way. The people that get labeled woke, right? Some of them are trying to keep up this, what I would call, like, puritanical appearances. Right. They are trying to convey this idea that they are pure. Regardless of what their behavior is, they're saying, oh no, on the inside, no, I would never have that thought. I would never have that feeling. And there are other people that are getting labeled as quote unquote woke and libtard or whatever label these reactionary people use, who are saying, no, that conditioning is actually still in me. I fuck up all the time. I'm actually not perfect, but I'm trying to be a better human being. Right. And I'm not trying to be a better human being for moralistic reasons. I'm trying to be a better human being because I feel like that is what will get me a better life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So you have all of that going, you have that going on. And because of the guilt, and especially if you're like a white straight man or whatever, you have all of these, like, narratives in your head because of these right-wing figures. They're feeding them to you, these red herrings about what the liberals and the woke people and the commies are thinking about you and saying about you, and you get sucked into it, and and then the reaction is like, I'm just gonna go up, grab that mic, and go. Right, right, we're all thinking it, right? And it's like, you get that as a reaction to the oh my goodness, you get that.
It's
you get
lack of imagination again.
Yeah.
It's a binary thought. It's like either I'm a part of the woke mob or I'm a fucking
right. And it's like I want to say though, like I can get that. Yes, the puritanical motherfuckers that we're thinking of.
Right.
Yes, that is bullshit. They are trying to just keep up appearances. They don't even realize they're fucking hurting themselves psychologically in the like loosen the fuck up. Mm-hmm. Like sure 100%, but like, and again to your point about imagination, there's a whole nother way we can go where we're trying to figure out how to socially evolve, live better, be in a better world. Actually, yes, coexist and cooperate with each other despite our differences. All of that good shit that a lot of these comedians will say that they believe in, and that's why they're reacting this way. That's why they're. But it's like no, like the practice of that, the action of that, isn't just going up and then appealing to the most reactionary and hurtful people in this society. That's not that's like and it's like they fucking know that
being contrarian just to be contrarian, that's the laziest bitch. You lazy.
And Cat Williams talked about this. He's like, dog, like be funnier. Just be funnier.
I will 100% laugh at a fucked up joke. Make that shit funny, nigga. I'm not above like my brain being hijacked. Oh goddamn, that was funny. I'll laugh. It helps to know if you're not actually fucking racist,
right?
But a fucking string of words put together, it's like, damn, that's clever. Fuck it being racist, but kind of clever. I'm human, like you said. It's being fucking instead of being that moral, that fake. I'm a Puritan.
Right. It's not about the performative
being real. Nigga,
be real.
Brain, you absorb so much fucked up shit.
But it also circles back to that thing of what are you actually trying to say and why?
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if you want to name you have a thought. I don't.
You talking about saying why? That's like one of the main pillars of what's wrong. They don't have nothing to talk about.
Right. And this reminds me of the conversation. I don't know if you want to name the person, but there was a comedian you were talking with, and they were consulting with you about like a joke. You sent me it was a text conversation you were talking about.
Wait, how long ago was this?
This is in the last few weeks.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
You said there's a comedian that you know who kind of says fucked up shit, but they're
I don't want to name him. He is a friend of mine, and he's like.
I just thought of it because you literally made the point. You made this point about
I remember,
having the sense that this comedian doesn't have a point. Like there's no guiding sort of like.
Well, it's
moral,
like it's not even like
moral, but
or foundation, a basis. What do you stand on?
Right,
like,
exactly.
You're making just jokes. Like what do you stand on?
Yeah, that's the problem is I don't want to name him because he is a good friend of mine, and he's somebody who every time I point out that he's wrong, he will every single time be like, "Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm gonna go rethink that." And so I don't fault him for like running things by me and me having like a.
But there's an order. I feel like there's an order of operations thing. It's like chicken or the egg thing.
Yeah,
it's when are you being led by the joke, or do you have something to say? Have you figured out what you want to say first?
Yeah, and I mean, there's a idea in comedy of like, can I make this work? Like I have an idea and it's kind of fucked up.
Dude, I'm thinking about music. This shit exists in a musical context too.
Right.
Niggas want to just make a song, but it's like, what are you saying? Like from a songwriting standpoint, why are you trying to make the song?
Exactly. And I think the broader point of that is like, and I think I've said this before, is comedy. You learn very early on how to make yourself look like the underdog, because it's not funny to be on top, and we have it's weird that we have that fundamental understanding that like being in a position of power is not funny, because we have a fundamental understanding of what it means to punch down.
Yeah.
Right.
But we can obfuscate that so easily when people like when it comes up in a context of Chappelle, just because he, not to bring him up again, but like because he specifically tried to devalue that phrase recently. Is like
punching down.
Yeah,
it's punching down.
It's
and
also
like,
hard to make people laugh when you literally have power over them. It's like
Exactly.
that Tony Soprano scene where
Exactly.
he realizes everyone's just laughing just to jerk him off, and he's like, "Oh, these fucking guys actually don't follow." They're like, "Oh, that's a good one, Tony."
Rat fuck.
yeah,
Just fucking laugh.
right, and it's
a retirement community. It's a
but no, that's
Not to go into a string of Sopranos
I
impersonations.
haven't seen The Sopranos really like that. So
Don't.
what you're trying to say is transphobic.
Yo, Paulie, I never had HBO. Or if it was Showtime, I don't fucking know. I had fucking grew up with CW.
My mom used to turn on HBO. She would shut the door. John Mulaney. not fucking Chappelle.
Fucking, you seen Frasier? You guys do Frasier accents? I can. Like I didn't have cable growing up. I don't really know where this bit goes. I'm sorry.
Come on, Tone.
but,
I love Chris's whole thing.
Yeah, but
on,
literally, it's so funny the where comedy is. It's because it's like it's either right-wing reactionaries who have no, what you're talking about, like where people need substance. People need to feel. Not that I hate all art doesn't need substance. Some art can just be it's a
Right,
fart
of
joke.
course.
Yeah.
Of
It's
course,
a
right,
fart joke.
right.
Of course.
But people do like to feel fed. A point of view
Yeah.
of something.
It's like if your art,
comedy, though, man, I'm not to cut in, but I thought about this before in terms of comedy is like such a powerful thing. It's not a fucking, to me, it's not just this fucking play thing. Like it's not this fucking, your whole thing is in ideas, in
Right.
in values, in principles. That is the whole thing.
It's literally,
Yeah.
it's
Whether you want to acknowledge it or not.
yeah,
Like,
and I guess, and what I was saying is like the way it obfuscates this like power dynamic and
Right.
hierarchy and all these
Right.
things. It's like because you're taught to. You go up on stage every night and how you make it work is how do I make it look like I'm being victimized in this situation? How do I make it look like, and that reflects across all of society. Like, how do I make it look like trans people somehow have power over me? How do I make it
my
look
God.
like the dude at Starbucks has some power over me when he's the one working for fucking $7 an hour?
I'm thinking
And,
of Bill Burr. Not that he's made that joke, but I think of him
That was
on
a bit
point.
Bill Engvall joke I'm thinking of.
What's the
But,
deal
like,
with my mate asking for a raise?
Right, right. Can you believe it?
Can you believe
Can you believe it?
That's why clowns are underrated, man. You know, like the self-deprecating, like you know what I mean? It's like bonking themselves over the head. type
Three
shit.
Stooges.
Right.
But like,
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna hit myself.
yeah, like we saw Nate Bargatze.
skin in the game.
We saw Nate Bargatze a couple weekends ago, and that dude just talks about how fucking dumb he is the whole
Yeah.
time. And it's like this is so refreshing.
Right. Right.
Because if he tells you his other beliefs, you would not want to be there.
Let me tell you.
There we go.
There was several Bass Pro Shops worth of people walking into that theater
Yeah.
for sure.
I know
Right.
the opener.
Yeah.
I mean, dog,
Yeah.
that's why they're pushing this apolitical shit so fucking hard. It's
Yeah.
like every time I talk to somebody about that, and they're just like, I don't really like politics. I don't really like talking about politics.
Everything is
Like,
fucking politics.
Everything is political.
9 times
Everything
out of
is
10, they're
politics.
saying political shit in their
It's right.
bits.
But it's so funny when you watch the comedy industry. It's literally the right wing dudes who want to say nigga on stage, or it's like, let me get away. That's their whole like.
It's just
MO.
a word. How
And
you
then
giving it so much
and then
power?
there's
I
the
don't know why I'm doing Sebastian. but-
overly fucking corporatized. But like there's like a spectrum. It's like the right wing comics who want to like push old ideas, and then there's like this corporatized identity politics comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like literally
Right.
like late night. Late night has been a struggle for me. It's not been a struggle.
Be
it's-
real, nigga.
But it's
Talk that shit, nigga.
I could easily had a late night set long ago if I would have just been like, hi, my name's Ashton, I'm a black nerd, and blah blah blah. This is my idea.
Yeah.
They want you to be like.
Yedoye's had this similar sort of like experiences.
Fallon's booker said my comedy was too black versus white, and then within the week, Fallon was apologizing for doing blackface.
Yeah. But
Wow.
literally, and that go look. You can literally look.
We got him.
Also, Billy Crystal did blackface. It did Sammy Davis Jr. In case anyone wants to look
And
it
my
up.
man
I know
Frank
I left
Caliendo,
this.
unfortunately.
I got a leftist comics in my phone. A picture of a leftist comic, very known, in blackface.
Is that a low? That's a low key one though. Like people don't know about this one.
Yeah, people don't know about this. Got some heat in my phone.
Fucking Ronan Farrow's gonna
When
hit
this
you.
is
I've been waiting. Say something, nigga.
when this is over, you have to show us.
Drop, nigga.
Oh,
when I drop
okay.
this
When this
shit.
is over, you have to show us
show y'all
that,
picture.
and then you also have to tell the other Tom Cruise, the two other Tom Cruise.
And I'm
Well,
also
it's not Tom Cruise stories. It's Russell Brand and Gordon Ramsay.
Okay.
Well, the Gordon Ramsay one I mentioned
You
last
said,
episode.
yeah.
The Russell Brand one's not even like a fun. It's just what you think.
The way you put it.
Oh man,
you know what it is.
It's not the fun rumor.
we're about to get calls from so many people.
Cease and desist.
We're about to get calls from Tom Cruise's people, Russell Brand's
gonna be
people,
an all-
probably
all-
Judah
white on white
Friedlander's
crime.
people.
No, why did she go on YouTube?
You're saying some things about me that weren't true.
No, you can't verify that with evidence.
Can't verify that. It's called libel. It's what it is. It's called libel. Slander.
Oh, wait, sorry. Was someone making a point?
To catch you up, there was a rumor I heard. I'll just say it again. There was a rumor I heard about Tom Cruise from some. I was in Portugal recently, and I was talking to someone who, from a reliable source, apparently Tom Cruise for his birthday every year. Gets like a forest and like gets like 30 twinks and gimp suits and like lets them loose, and then he comes by helicopter. I swear to God, he comes by helicopter and like parachutes into the forest and like fucks one of them, like tracks him down and fucks.
Believable thing. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The most believable thing. If there's anything I really believe, it's that.
Creeps me out.
Have you seen Top? That man's a psycho. He's like, we should get real jets. And, anybody who does what he does definitely does that.
Oh yeah.
This motherfucker. First off, he's like, I don't even believe in him as an action hero. But he's 5'6". I don't believe in this nigga as an action hero.
Right.
But he still does it. He's still like, it's out there every day filming the most impossible shit in the world. So I know this nigga definitely rents out
Look
helicopters.
what being 4 inches below average height will do to someone. I mean, Rogan is like that. You think Rogan kickboxes for any other reason?
I feel like that man really has gone to war as research for a film. I feel like he's just fully gone to war.
Yeah,
That
you're in
man
Ukraine and you run into him. You're like, "What are you doing, Tom?" He's like, "Oh, there's a Ukraine movie."
If there is a more evident CIA agent actor, it's fucking Tom Cruise. This nigga literally constantly works with the military.
For sure.
Yeah,
no.
But yeah, isn't that crazy? I believed it.
Wild.
That's absolutely.
That's 100. You can tell me honestly any rumor about Tom Cruise, I might believe it.
Yeah.
It can honestly be anything.
What were we talking about though? We were on some thread. I'm the one who derailed.
Oh, you were talking about right wing ass nigga. I will say it's very crazy that they are like these free speech warriors, because it's like you're not. You fucking Julian Assange is a free speech warrior. Chelsea Manning, that's a.
We were talking about blackface.
Yeah. I'll show y'all that. I'm gonna show y'all. This is a
that's how we got on rumors.
Yeah, this is a leftist nigga who has
Secrets
fucking
and lies.
Yeah.
You should show us on camera. We won't even talk about it.
You
Just get the reaction.
can't see.
Just get the
you really
reaction.
can't see.
We got so many angles.
Oh yeah, we can just cut.
You definitely catching this on all these goddamn
Nah.
No, but we can cut it. We can cut it in the final.
You're not gonna know who it is until I show you who it is. Hold on.
This is wild.
I can't wait.
There is definitely
Folks, we have a bomb dropping.
This is in my research.
There are plenty of angles where we won't catch it. By the way,
It's gonna be like the Pokemon. Who is this?
yeah.
Okay, I found it. Okay. All right. And this is like verified by multiple people. I'm gonna show you who it is first, so you can know who I'm talking about. Then I'm gonna show you the picture.
Wow.
I feel like I won't know who this is unless they're really big. So I don't know a lot of
Okay,
leftist.
pass the
comedians.
phone around. That's who it is.
Is this your card?
Is this your card?
Word?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know him?
Yeah.
Oh, you know him? Man.
Oh! Oh, yeah, I do know that one.
Yeah,
You
wow.
have the pic though.
That's hilarious. Wow.
This has been used
And
against
I'm
Wow.
surprised that it hasn't.
It's a very grainy photo, but it's very used against him very deeply.
Oh, this looks like a print of a dollar bill or something. I can't even see what that is. That's like, I'm surprised that hasn't been.
Oh my god. Where was this?
And I can't say.
This really looks like money.
I was about to say, that looks like $100 bill.
It was back in the day when, you know, I can't even give any part of the story because it's going to give away.
No, but that one is crazy because that's one I'm surprised because they're sloppy, that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm surprised that's been under lock
I
and
didn't think
key.
anybody. I was like, "There's no." I was just like, I know a prominent like.
But that's like the fucking Zapruder tape of blackface photos. Like that's like really hard to tell.
Yeah, right.
Look-
like you
looks
would
like
never-
Abe Lincoln.
It could be anybody.
I can
he's
see
definitely
it.
got bronze face on.
I can see it.
It's like, are you?
I need to.
Is this penny
study-
face
so-
or
that's
He looks like a
ridiculous.
painting in that picture.
Right.
Right.
They were getting deeply exposed one day. It was
You're like, should I press the button? It's a big glowing red button.
I could fuck all this shit up. Bring me my nuclear football.
Oh my
But
god.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Sorry, that's what I do on my.
That's one we do know. That's funny. I didn't think.
That person is to me is like an example of not actually.
Zero respect on both sides.
That's better. That's literally.
That's basically what that one.
Yeah,
how that goes.
literally, I look at you. I'm like, "Yo, shut the fuck up, nigga! You're doing
Yeah.
you're
Right.
disservicing." And like, so when I saw that picture, I was I look at that picture, I open it up a few times a day, and just be like, "Yo." Anytime
Like,
I
what
see-
time is it?
If I see this nigga tweet, I just open up that picture.
You sure about that? Just tweet at him. You sure about that?
Right.
Every day.
This you?
I've been wanting to diss you,
Oh
this
my
nigga.
Just faxing it to them.
Right.
What the fuck?
Didn't we know?
Mail him a
We
fax
are
machine and then.
Yeah,
No, but
so,
it's just like, I don't know. It's just irritating because it's like, just all of this shit, man. It's just, I'm so tired of this shit, man. Like, just straight up, I'm tired of all these lame ass motherfuckers that got all the access in the world, all the money in the world, and like,
Yeah, in that case,
this is the shit. This is what we don't get shit for it. Nothing
Yeah.
changes. Nothing happens.
Right.
I'm just tired of it, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm. We were talking about it really on the tail end of this shit yesterday, our last recording. Like, just in our own way, like pleading for people to just like tap in,
Dude.
You know,
Yeah.
this whole show is just like, I've been joking with people about it for the last few weeks. But it's like this whole show is just us like. It's almost like putting the feelers out because we all know a lot of people and we all have like a lot of access to people and our own respective influence, and we're kind of just trying to bring conversations that we've been having privately for years out into the public with the hopes that something resonates with enough dope creatives that they too go, okay, well, there's enough people here, there's enough consensus over in this space that I'm willing to walk over there and like build some shit with people.
Yeah, right.
And when I say build some shit, I'm talking about institutional, I'm talking about structural, I'm talking about technological, all this fucking shit, YouTube, TikTok, like, yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. It's a never ending. It's like, are we not like fed up enough? Is the writing not on the wall? Do you not feel like, what do I have to lose at this point? Do you not feel that way?
There's no way, even with people. First off, I felt you could, when you don't have any money, you should feel that like you almost have a natural inclination. When I was broke as shit, that was like also I had.
That's
like,
what Zach Fox and I talk about all the time.
I feel lucky because I also had the one good thing. My dad definitely, he did a lot of good things for me. Let me not say that. It was put in, nigga, this shit ain't real. Like, letting me know from an early age. And it had nothing, yeah, we broke, but this shit ain't real, nigga. Like, putting that into me at an early age. And then when you get money, I've not had money for a long time. I just had a job. And so like when I say get money, I'm just like have a consistent.
Make a living.
No
and
longer
not
living.
live with rats and roaches and shit.
Precisely. No longer living in struggle mode because niggas have no idea. You live 30 years in struggle mode where every week is like, hope I'm able to eat.
Hope I don't get kicked out of my apartment.
Right.
When you, even having money for 2 years, I've always known this, I was like, this consumerism shit, this constant consumption, it's going to get, even though I can't afford nothing, I know this shit gets old. And now I have money and I'm like, I'm bored because it's like, I know I could do whatever I want. And I still, this isn't, my opportunities in front of me are just spend money. Go watch a movie, eat popcorn, go, nothing of actual substance, no community, no anything that's like people, party, talking, community oriented, watching kids do like graduate, put on a show. That's the real value of life to me. And we currently value constant consumption.
We talk about this all the time. It's like we achieve things that our kid self would dream of. And then it's like, but there's not a cool world to have those things within. Like they have lightsabers now that you can click it and it just immediately pops out instead of you going. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm an adult now, and this shitty ass world doesn't fucking matter.
Where I start to feel alienated and isolated in this conversation is like I mentioned that Zach and I talk about this shit. The shit where I start to feel alienated and isolated is like as shit kind of gets more. Let me put it this way. A lot of the people that are closest to me, who are like creatives and like entertainers, there's a through line of like this tension of actually rejecting access. Because all of us in this room have access to the whole thing. Just to be clear for people who don't know. You know, we all have access to Hollywood, entertainment, all of that. And you would think, and everyone can speak for themselves, you would think being on the outside and seeing people like us, or even just fuck that, being in tune with yourself, seeing how shitty this shit is, would be enough to like motivate you to be like, fuck it. Let's see what else we can cook up. Let's see ABC, NBC, Disney. That's 20th century shit. That's just not going to exist anymore. Let's go build the next thing. You would think that there would be more of that people going on, but instead I end up just feeling like the crazy nigga in the room.
Absolutely.
Like, and it's like, I'm crazy?
No.
Right.
Are you not? Why would you sit in a sinking ship? Why would you continue
when it's worse than ever?
Before.
When it's worse than ever.
Why would you just sit in there?
They made United Artists like 100 years ago.
100 years ago. Right.
And that was because they wanted to fucking make Chaplin films. They didn't even talk.
There's precedent.
Right.
There's precedent. They didn't go far enough, but there's precedent. You know?
Yeah, it's that fucking comfortability. It's like fucking the same way it feels like we're just watching the end of the world like play out, and niggas are just like, well, I still got to live my day-to-day life. When in reality, we all should be like, nigga, we need to be just peeling things down from the fucking walls. Like, this shit is fucked up.
So you know that day-to-day comfortability only goes so far. It's diminishing returns. It's what you were just saying. It's like, all right, well, now socially and psychologically, I feel like shit. And I got a nice apartment, and I'm eating good. I can eat whatever I want. I can maybe go on vacation, whatever. It's like, dog. And now you're seeing the next ceiling, and you're not gonna break through it until you step out of your comfort zone and go into some shit with people. And it's not gonna be perfect, and everyone's not gonna be perfect. It's not all gonna be like happy and no struggle or whatever. But it's like, god damn, is anything is better than this? That's how I feel at this point. I'm like, there's no amount of money at this point to me. And I always also tell people, I've been doing shit in entertainment for almost a decade, if not over a decade now. I've been close to people. I've watched people go from nothing to being rich as fuck, getting some of the biggest people that I knew when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I've seen the whole thing. So I have this years of context of like seeing people that are high up in culture and entertainment and being like, damn, this person has no fucking meaning. They feel nothing. Right. They're just like fumbling around through the money and success to try and find some kind of purpose. I have years of seeing that shit. So it's almost like my brain goes to like, dog, this systems change shit. And if it's not gonna work out, it's like, and I fall, I already know what my last resorts are, and I know that a lot of it is family and community and people that are gonna look out for me and take care of me, and I'm willing to put shit on the line until I get to that point. But I'm gonna press it. I'm gonna press the line as far as I can to make some other shit happen, because I can't keep living in this fucking world. That's how I feel.
It's absolutely insane. It's either do this or keep letting it happen.
Right.
There's only one answer. It's do this. It's build community, or we just let these motherfuckers drain us dry.
Right.
Fucking,
it's not fun. It's not exciting. You think this shit, like
society's so mid.
Having to punch in.
Dude,
having
that's
to
my
punch
mantra.
in.
That's my philosophy. Society is so mid. That's my biggest problem with society is the midness.
This is what we got, nigga. This shit is lame. Like literally.
But like going to what y'all talked about, and even a conversation I had with Jack Benzinger, like,
no, they got so funny.
And even what you said, about you're a kid and you dream. I think, and I'm sorry, Jack, if I'm misquoting or misremembering, but he was making that point of like, you do improv, and then it's like your dream is I want to write for television, and then you start writing for television. You're like, this is absolute shit.
Yep.
Right. But that notion, even that thing, not notion, the reality of having to punch in to write jokes,
right?
To be
creative.
What? To be creative?
Yeah.
To be creative on an hour.
That's on a certain level. That's some of the darkest shit imaginable.
Yeah.
Because that's supposed to be
it's like
pure.
a Terry Gilliam movie.
That's me. That's me.
Right.
And you're putting a fucking a brand logo of this major corporation, like branding it into me.
And dog, when I talk about being your own boss, I'm like, with a lot of these TV writers who are really deep in it, they're just copywriters for NBC, for ABC, or for whatever the fuck network. They're self-censoring. They're literally being their own boss and saying like, I don't think they would let us say this. Let them tell you that.
Yeah.
Be the fucking person
there's
that
people
you want.
I'm working with that are like, we can't go to them with that. And I'm like, why don't you go to them with that?
Let them tell you.
And then they can fucking say it themselves.
I'm mentally, I'm like, I'm not even walking into the building.
No, I don't
even want to walk into the building.
Yeah.
You're
You've been
paying
in
me
the building for a stretch, though, so you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
What, 6 figures, millions of dollars, whatever. I'm not walking in the building.
No.
Right.
Yeah. Literally.
I don't want to walk in the building. I don't want to talk to these people. I want to get with Jack Benzinger and y'all and the dopest people and just make the dopest shit.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah. No, the whole.
We have not to.
Go.
I'll put a pin in it. But it's also like, because of the access that we have as artists, we know niggas with money. We know niggas who will put up bread just enough for us to kickstart. That's how this show got started.
Right.
For those who don't know, Jason DeMarco was someone who invested in this not to make money back, but because he agrees with the shit that I'm saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like there's enough of us out here to where we can just do the next thing. Let's move on. And then when it becomes self-sustaining and like sustainable, let's use what we have collectively to help other people do the same shit.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. Literally.
What else are we going to do? Are we going to
and
seriously
it's
keep
like-
having these same conversations and keep having the same? It's like, come on. Even the conversation is draining after a certain point.
The word
Like,
the word lifeboat is like problematic and it sounds exclusive and shit like that, but like I'm trying to build a lifeboat, like for real.
Right.
Like we were joking, like I don't care if we make fucking knitted sweaters, like whatever it fucking is, as long as it's like something where we know it's sustainable, perpetuates itself, and it's like it's gonna hold us down. I'll fucking knit a sweater. I don't give a fuck.
It's literally insane to me that like I'm my how I frame things is spiritual. I'm a spiritual person, so like I look at I'm like, yo, we literally got everything we have here. You're literally born with literally the creator, the person that created this shit gave us plants, food, water, and was like, nigga, have at it. And we purposely chose to fucking build systems. We built prisons for ourselves. We built a fucking economic and mental psychological prison for us to live into when everything's abundant.
It's really a floor is lava game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the floor is lava.
Thank you.
No, it's not.
What if,
Thank you.
Thank you. What if we made it seem like there's not enough?
Yeah, exactly.
What if we took the
Don't open the door with all the cheeseburgers.
What if we took
in
the
there
fruit bearing trees and we replaced them?
I literally can't look
that
at
fucked me up.
another study that's like, world hunger. It's $6.7 trillion. We just donated $10 trillion to Poland. It's like, whoa, what the fuck?
Right.
World hunger cost that much, and it's never like just like world hunger. It's like for the moment. It doesn't really, but like we've put numbers to all these problems and like financial numbers to all these problems, and then the money we spend, we'll see the money we spend is way more than the problems of fucking that we could easily put that there, put that there, put that there. Fucking I wouldn't even say problem solved because capitalism is built. It's built for inequality. It's literally you can't have a
money
higher up,
and ownership and all that.
There's no higher up without somebody at the bottom. So it's like there is no solution. Even if they donate it, put the money to the good shit, there still wouldn't be a fucking solution to it because someone would not have. Because just off the virtue of low, middle, high class, somebody got to sit at that fucking low. And it's just yeah.
And I want to say another thing too, because I know we keep talking about capitalism and like circling back to these different isms, and like I just want to say to anyone listening who like hears that and then feel, and I actually understand it. Like I could imagine hearing a group of people throwing around these isms and like critiquing capitalism, and then having this instinctive feeling of like, oh, they're trying to like indoctrinate me into some fucking, like another religion or something. And like, I want to just say for myself personally that like, we're beyond that shit. Like we're don't give a fuck about the religion. I say that everyone who knows me knows I say the church of leftism, but there's a million different churches, right? And it all comes into this like categorical thinking that ultimately puts you in a box where you end up missing the bigger picture in some way, shape, or form. And like this shit that we're talking about, I feel like is all big picture shit. It's not about some club or some type of initiating people into some club of leftism or some club of whatever. Literally, my shit is freedom. I want to be free. I want to be free. I don't give a fuck what you call it. I don't care what you call capitalism or communism or socialism or anarchism. I don't give a fuck what label people have for it. I want to be free. I want to be able to do what I want to do and not have to worry about my needs being taken care of. And I want to connect with other people. That's what I want in my life. I want to create with other people. That's what I want. Yeah.
Genuinely, I think that's what I literally think life is supposed to be. Have housing, have education, have healthcare, have all these safety nets provided for us, and then we just create and be people. We can that's the society I want is shit taken care of, and we just are. I just want to be.
Right.
Whatever you want to do that shit. Don't let fucking...
It's wild. And here's the thing. We will work less. Yeah. We will do less work.
Yeah.
We'll do like less than a tenth of what we're doing now.
Like they worked less back then than we do now, type shit. I think you said that.
The peasants, yes, the peasants worked less. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
We get a third of our week to be us, and of that third, you have to sleep.
Yeah.
You live. So even that
God forbid you have offspring.
Less than a third. It's
Right.
2 out of 7, bro. And like what fucks me up is that you think about like all these creative careers as the way out of that, and then somehow you get fucking you get funneled into the same
most fuck shit.
It's the most the most conservative work ethic I've ever seen anywhere is the comedy work ethic. It's like you gotta go to
grind,
3,
bro.
you gotta grind, you gotta be at 2-3 mics a night, and then you gotta go do a show. You gotta work out your material. You gotta write when you get home. You gotta be out. You gotta be out mingling.
I couldn't do what.
No, dog, it's wild as fuck that we have a work ethic that we apply to creative endeavors.
That's why I grew up doing theater, stopped, then got into film, went to film school, and I'm not in film.
Right.
And now I'm in comedy. I'm in comedy, and I can barely make enough TikToks.
Yeah, it's
to
like
do the right amount.
Right.
Because
And
it's just like I physically seem to not be able to apply my creativity to any ethic under this system.
Right. And people always like point to those big like legendary directors that are like, you know, he didn't even go to film school. He didn't even go to film school.
You know what's crazy?
You know,
they all worked with each other. They all met and spoke with each other and helped each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, maybe
It was in a fucked up big studio system, but they still at least did that.
All of the greatest films are collaborations of multiple geniuses.
Right.
That's why the Star Wars are so good. Now, I love the prequels, but the original Star Wars is an exceptionally rare combination of brilliant people. The
But
first Star Wars,
even with Kubrick and Scorsese and like all
Right.
of them,
Right.
Spielberg,
Right.
all of them.
Right.
like Star Wars 1 was garbage until it got edited by his wife and another guy, Lucas's wife.
Yeah.
Saved the whole fucking movie.
Right.
It's like
I heard that.
Yeah.
all that shit is collaboration.
Yeah. Right.
No, fucking. Yeah, the comedy shit is fucking. It's literally one of the most toxic. Not just you turn yourself into a boss. It's you literally working in a toxic work environment throughout the whole. But women, first off, obviously, women have it the worst in comedy. They can't just do comedy. Niggas will literally comment on their comedy and be like, boo. Like, just if you're a woman and you put something out, you're gonna get harassment.
It's like, why she just always talk about her period? It's
not
just like-
funny.
It's just like I've only seen her
To be
once,
clear,
but
is-
why does she always do that?
To
you
be
know?
clear, are these private conversations that you're really thinking of when you say this?
when I
Like you're like I'm.
Experiences,
You were
you
just
mean?
talking as somebody that you've heard. Is this like
that's a real
Locker room talk.
That's
like,
a
is
real.
it like a-
I mean, that's
Are
a
you
real.
saying
That's
this
a
is
real.
like
Locker room talk.
That's from fans more than other.
Yeah.
comics,
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah,
like
it's
that's
comedy.
That's
That's
real.
comedy fans who are
Yeah,
like.
that's like
Ricky Gervais opened up his special with like some bullshit.
I don't even. Like,
whatever face that was.
That's the worst feeling when you want to do a voice, but you're like, damn, I have not even tried this once. Am I
I was
really
waiting
gonna? Am
on
I really
this.
gonna
He's like,
try it out on
here?
camera?
I thought Trump was gonna
I
come
can
out.
do the voice. It's trying to remember exactly what dumb shit he said. He's
Right,
like, "There's
right.
plenty of good female comedians like," which is like
Oh
a
my
Yeah.
loser, like level 90.
Are you
joke.
kidding me?
And
Is
he's
that
like,
recent?
like,
his last special, and I
Yeah.
wanted to bring up Ricky Gervais earlier because he's
What
one of the
the
fucking
fuck,
like.
man?
I want to use every fucking like chauvinistic word to describe like Ricky Gervais is one of the biggest losers in comedy. I swear to
He's
God.
a fucking goofball.
He's a fucking goof. He's a goon.
goof.
He's a goon. He's a nobody. He's washed up. But like Ricky Gervais is the shit that this is driven on. Is like that sort of inferiority complex that like trying to prove yourself to some fucking like masculine ideal. Like you can watch. There's an interview with him, Jerry Seinfeld, Louis C.K., and Chris Rock.
We
where
know
you can-
that,
I
the
mean,
classic,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
You mean
for
the
anybody
ancient
who's
tome?
for anybody
Yeah.
for anybody who's watching who doesn't know, and you can see in real
Called
time.
Talking Funny on HBO.
Yeah, and you can see the whole interview.
Even the name.
Talking funny,
Talking funny.
on
Come up with
Talk funny,
anything,
real quick.
anything other than that?
right. But the whole interview, Ricky Gervais is like clearly just like begging for these guys' approval. It's just like, please, just
Validate.
like validate me as a
one
real
of you.
comic, and you can see in real time where he decides that he is allowed to say the N-word. Because Chris Rock and Louis C.K.
This sounds like top tier.
And even
crazy.
Jerry's
it's
like,
the worst.
I wish you had
And
a
it's
time
Jerry-
stamp
it's
to
the
read.
rare-
I could
Jerry
pull it out.
It's the
Seinfeld
rare.
defends,
it's-
yeah.
I'm sure you could just search that moment on you, but
Yeah,
like there's
literally.
there's
Well,
literally.
it sounds like there's something on his face in his facial.
Well, no,
expression or-
Seinfeld goes into it. He's that's what I was quoting earlier. Was Seinfeld is just like, yeah, I don't really. It's
Yeah.
like the people always say it's the rare moment where Seinfeld is the good guy. He's like, yeah, I don't really see the funny in it. I don't, and nor do I search for it. I don't see the value in using it. I mean, you guys can do it. Obviously, you do it and you make it funny, and that's great. But I don't like it. And it's
I found it, by the way, on YouTube, but it's the whole thing. It's like 50 minutes. So I don't know what timestamp.
Yeah, I don't know the timestamp, but
it's definitely in the comments, I'm sure.
Yeah, but like
that specific.
That would be the only reason.
Are you referring to Ricky Gervais? Though?
I'm referring to Ricky Gervais, and I'm referring to the way that he doubles down on bullshit on behalf of other comics because he wants to prove that he is the one who took it there, who said the thing, or who like, I went there. But like, first of all, somebody else broke the fucking seal for you.
Right.
Somebody else took the heat already, and now you get to go and double down on it and reinforce the bullshit that Dave Chappelle is doing or that Louis C.K. is doing, and that's it's people like him that are driving comedy and driving like fascism into this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they're the ones that reinforce all of this shit.
Yeah.
Like
they're like what is that when you're in I can't think of a word. When you're in a group of people and there's people in the back that you're waiting to catch up. Like he's one of those.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's just like, I don't know, bro. He pisses me off because he's taking advantage of not only just like capitalism and chauvinism and like right-wing ideology, but also not being creative in any capacity.
No,
like dog
seeing that picture of him with the mic
with the fucking cross, like,
I'm like, you fucking loser.
I died for comedy.
I'm an atheist. We all are, dummy.
I wonder if he cringes at that today.
Dog, I hope so. God. I hope he cringes every time he sees a picture of
Apparently, he did an interview where he's like, I'm fat and I'm going to die soon. And everyone on Twitter was like,
good.
Okay, good.
Great. Love that.
That was a recent interview?
Yeah, it was like a headline.
Yeah.
I put on my story and put the Jeopardy like
But no, man, that type of energy that people bring to comedy where they can't even stand on you can't even stand on the shit you believe in. On the shit that you're saying. That's what bothers me more than anything is like it goes back to what you said that it's just it's just a joke shit. Like no, you say it with your fucking chest. If you really believe, if you have the nerve to say that shit on stage, then stand on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking read some books. Read Mein Kampf or whatever the fuck your values are based
lean
on.
Into it. If
and
you're
lean
fascist,
on it. Lean into it.
But that's the thing. They
don't be a fucking little.
That's the big like. For me, like it echoes sentiments of like the real reality of like our government our reality here, where we watch right wing niggas slowly. They're fascist. We know that these niggas are fascist. They're trying to get back to a white male dominant where only white guys can own land. That's literally what they're trying to reverse our society back into. And I feel like it's a deeper cultural, like psychological thing that like they're going through, and it just trickles down into comedy. These niggas don't even realize they still see white men as an authority figure, and like what they say is what is, and like it's like I can say these words. Come on, like I think it literally, to me, it echoes white supremacy. I cannot disassociate this society, this country, away from these guys trying to be like, I should be able to say what I want. I should be able to. I feel like those are you're trying to traffic in these right wing.
It's the same thing with the like I'm just asking questions thing, like Matt Walsh thing. I don't know if you know the What Is a Woman doc.
Oh my god!
And then it's like on Twitter, he's literally quote tweeting someone saying like, it should be illegal to transition, period. And he's like, yeah.
So
it's like, so you are just talking about outright fascism.
That's what I mean.
It's the same fucking dynamic as like, you know, when you see somebody post some shit on Instagram that's like an article about a trans athlete or some other controversial thing, and the caption is just thoughts.
Yeah.
Can I get any type of engagement? It doesn't matter what it is. Just what are your thoughts? I don't want to be responsible for the vitriol that goes down in this comment section. But say whatever you want.
It's just frustrating because the dishonesty and like people just not being genuine, it keeps us from getting to the question of why.
Yeah.
Why? You know, like I don't want to be like annoying, but like I'm curious, like as a white person, like if you ever have even just overheard, there's like no, it's just all white people around, just overheard some of the rationalizations or sentiments behind.
Oh, you're
like
kidding? My whole life.
Where you can parse out, oh, like this is quote unquote white supremacy, and I'm saying quote unquote because there's some people who that's so abstract. It's like, well, what are you really talking about? Mm-hmm. But it's like you can parse it out as white supremacy, but you're like in the context or in the environment, you're just taking in the information. You're just taking in what everyone's saying, and they're not even aware that this is ultimately what it is. Like they haven't collected and organized their thoughts to go, oh no, well, this feeling and instinct that I'm having, it is about what Tucker Carlson is talking about on TV. But it's like I don't know if what I'm trying to get at makes sense. I'm just trying to I wonder to what degree white people and like white men in particular who are, middle class, upper middle class, whatever, like how are they actually interpreting what the quote unquote pushback is? Like how are they interpreting what the quote unquote critique is?
Well, it's very delusional, it's very dissonant, and also like to the idea of like if you're a fascist, stand on it, that runs counter to the laziness inherent in fascism. like that doesn't make a lot of sense, really. It's like you're asking them to actually have rationality to like what they're talking about, and the laziness comes from precedent. Every justification I've ever heard, an explanation, is the laziest shit I've ever heard. It's like it's literally just like it's like when they say that the people rushing the Capitol were all just like Antifa, like it's really a convenient ass story to tell yourself, but like. I listened to my cousin
that makes
and
sense
uncle.
though. Off rip laziness. That makes sense.
I mean,
you're comfortable. You're comfortable.
Right.
There's massive precedent. You rest on the tradition of history.
Right.
I mean, it's I listened to my cousin and my uncle just like they were smoking cigars together, literally saying like, yeah, it's like that quote from fucking Winston Churchill or Ronald Reagan or whatever. Like, it's the worst system, but it's better than every other system, or something like that.
Right.
It's outright laziness. Because you're sitting on centuries of bodies just protecting you.
Right.
There's nothing we can do better. I'm not going to think at all.
It's easy as fuck to be in the Matrix and be like, well, this is the Matrix. I don't know. Like, this
it's working for me.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't like matrices?
It's like
you don't like them. You don't like matrices.
It's gaslighting to a degree. It's like, well, I've been abusing you for years, so you have a problem with it.
Yeah, no.
It's like, oh, right.
You used to love it when I abused you. What happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, so now you have a spine. I would say it's that.
Just so bizarre to me. And I think about the generational component too, because there is now this existential, ecological, and environmental component to our lives, and specifically for like younger white people that, and I don't talk to like white boys in their, between 15 and 25.
That's who you're constantly chatting with online.
But I'm saying
we're the white boys.
I'm saying like Zoomers. I'm saying like Zoomers and younger. Like I don't know. I don't have a finger on that pulse. For lack of a better descriptor.
It's bleak.
But in your assessment.
Yeah, I've really tried to. Because a lot of like young white guys really respect me. Like they think I'm really funny, and they'll even like that I maybe have opinions they don't agree with. In fact, I hear that all the time. It's like, I don't agree with what you say, but you're so funny. And it's like, so I have maybe with like people I work with, because I'm in business, so everyone's just right wing basically.
Right.
And so you'll try to talk to them, and it'll literally just be like, it's really the laziness. It's so fucking easy to just not have to dig deep at all, because it's the insulation again. It's just there's nothing challenging you. But
I think about I brought up the existential and the environmental, ecological, and there's even a class component to it, because I want to believe that with younger people there is this more of a sense of, wow, they have left us with shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is shit. I'm getting fucked. Like there's a lot of young, poor and working class white men, and we've talked about it in different
just why
ways. But
white
from
national socialism is taking hold.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
You mean straight up Nazi?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. National socialism.
That's
because we hate both parties.
Neo-Nazis?
Check.
Right.
We're white nationalists. Check.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
It's literally that simple.
Right.
Damn, the image that flashed in my head when I thought of neo-Nazi.
No, thank you for saying that. Yeah.
But it's that simple. That's why you get the sense like, oh, the kids are all right. The Zoomers hate the authority. It's like, no.
They want to hold on to the
they're
shit
trying to
that
get
is,
it out the
right.
mud, but what they're getting out of the mud
Right.
is 100 years old.
Right. But also, it's like it has to preserve this for me, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
like
because
we can't actually bring us down to a level where we're at the same level when working with each other. We're side by side. No. I have to stay at least a little bit
or
up here.
we can operate, but we'll be segregated after
Right.
the fact.
Yeah.
This is why I think we should give all white teens 2 books. The autobiography of Malcolm X and A Message to the Black Man.
I've met so many white like leftists that it all started with the autobiography of Malcolm X.
Literally everything in my life. Well, my own like intellectual pursuit started with the autobiography of Malcolm X. I was reading his book and watching him transform into Red Fox. It was like a fucking Red Fox. Red Fox was his friend. Watching him transform from fucking Detroit Red to fucking
right.
That'd be crazy.
I was like, what are you trying to say with that?
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said,
Elizabeth, I'm coming.
imagine him getting shot. Go, oh, this is the big one.
Get your hand out my pocket, Elizabeth.
This is the big one. Get your hand out my pocket.
Oh my god. No, I got wires crossed in my brain. I'm sorry. Man, that shit started with me for real. I'm like, dead ass. Get these little white kids fucking autobiography of Malcolm X and watch them get radicalized.
I love you, man. I feel like your brain is just so riff.
No, it's he's like primed and ready up here like 24/7.
I'm not.
I'm not. You know, it's all accidental. It's just one long accident.
I was pissed he was drying his ass off because you came in here and we started talking about the funniest shit in the world. Like,
what were you talking about?
We were talking about how sliced bread, like before they had sliced bread, was it that shape still? Like, was it that big ass loaf?
I forget.
Or was it a baguette? You know,
I did not give sliced bread any kind of leeway. I was like, why would they?
Like,
he
how
came
would
in
they
here
slice it?
within 45 seconds. He mentioned that in 1928, sliced bread was invented.
I read that today, and I was like, they didn't cut bread.
And I was like, what did bread look like before it was sliced? Was it that fucking brick?
And I did overhear the video game shit, and he made this joke. He was like, we didn't have dual shock controls. Because I'm assuming someone pointed out that we sound like boomers talking about old video games.
Well, I was saying how crazy it is that the PS1 didn't have joysticks, and you remember that later.
Oh, yeah.
You just assume the dual shock
in my day, we didn't have dual shock.
We didn't have dual shock. We had one shock.
We spat on each other for fun.
There was no rumble.
No rumble feature.
Back in my day, you had to put the rumble pack in the back of the controller.
You had to vibrate your own controller.
And sometimes it wouldn't even rumble.
What were you saying
The
about
Dreamcast had a tiny screen in the controller.
Riichi Sakamoto did the music for the Dreamcast, but you didn't know that.
Yeah, that 64.
Now the PlayStation has a Keith Urban opening. The N64 had an attachment. You could play Game Boy games on the television, but it only worked on select consoles.
We had to put a magnifying glass in front of our Game Boy Advance to simulate.
I used
to play Pokemon Yellow version on the TV. A lot of people didn't know you could do that, but you could.
I got the Keith Urban joke from this video game YouTuber.
Oh no, rip.
Nakey Jakey.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah,
he's funny. Oh, Nakey Jakey lives in New York too.
Yeah, he's around. But you were talking about Kingdom Hearts 1, I think.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about camera controls.
Yeah,
in general.
yeah.
God of War, the new God of War is like enemies will just go behind you, and you're like, fuck, like you can't switch the lock on fast enough.
I know what you were referring to. Is when we were talking about the controls, how everything switched to bumper controls. You He was just like, fucking Zoomers don't know. They used to be, back in my day, it used to be square.
Yeah, attack used to be square.
Attack used to be
You
square.
could go up to a kiosk at Target and know square was the right button.
You could just guess every time it was square for your light attack and triangle for your heavy, and maybe some magic with circle.
It's such like boomer granddad talk because y'all sound exactly like my granddad. Whenever I'll never forget this. This will make no sense to nobody, but one day he was like, Piggly Wiggly.
I have Piggly Wiggly shirts.
That used to be at Eckerd's. And that's it.
Eckerd's? Like the apples?
No, it was a pharmacy company called Eckerd's. And
Damn, I forgot about Eckerd's.
That used to be at Eckerd's.
That Piggly Wiggly used to be at Eckerd's. And that Eckerd's was a Winn-Dixie.
Something that vibrates through my body every now and then. It's Piggly Wiggly.
That's probably the ugliest shirt I've ever owned. Was a brown Piggly Wiggly shirt with a blue accented outline of the Piggly Wiggly logo. It's disgusting.
Right. Yep.
That is horrible.
Yeah,
Yep.
but I was like, I like this colorway. It's cool.
Yeah, no.
Does Instagram give you that shit where it's just like a knife cutting sand? It's like fall asleep at.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
We all probably get those.
The Calm app.
Yeah,
Meditate with Calm.
Every function of your life requires an app.
I wish that was my ads. It was just reminding me of my mortal existence. They're like, Keeps, are you losing your hair? You know you're old. You know you're 30 now. And
30 years old? Are you losing your dick?
yeah,
Grow it back with Keeps.
You literally. I'm like, goddamn. Or my ads will be Spanish colleges, and I have no idea where that comes from. I don't even know what
Universidad.
Universidad. Algorithm. Get your shit
De
together.
historia.
Yeah, CIA is not listening. What the fuck?
That's so
La
funny.
historia del mundo.
I'm like, what the fuck? No.
Oh, fuck.
Where are we at on time, by the way? I'm just curious.
We're at 9 hours approximately.
Oh, shit.
It's been about 3, a little over 3.
Oh.
Really?
Wow.
Holy
It's been
shit.
3 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh,
Whoa.
shit. We filming a movie.
That went by quick as fuck.
Yeah.
Y'all can get part 2
Yeah.
in
We
Jackson.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was.
I don't want to
Part two
interrupt
in
any
what?
Ashton
No.
ever.
I would love for you to interrupt everything I say. Please.
You said part 2 in what?
I was gonna do a Zack Snyder.
Yeah, you watch this movie and you watch this episode in installments, like the Snyder cut.
We just make all these episodes 3 hours now.
I know.
We should put this episode on 2 VHS tapes, like Titanic.
Yeah. No, but the way I figure it is like 3 hours is 3 podcasts in one. What do you think about it?
Yeah. I mean, hey, look at that.
I mean, if you're really think about it as a commodity, it all makes sense.
I feel
We
like
can
I owe
package
this
it in 3
podcast
pieces.
the correct quote. So,
Wait, you said what?
I feel like I owe this podcast the correct horse quote.
Did you find it?
No, I'm going to find it. I'm going to actually try.
Oh.
Horse.
You can just find a horse quote from anybody. I'm sure people have said a lot of things about horses.
Horse?
Why is my horse shaking his head? No, that's not. Never mind. All right.
Shaking his head.
It was just.
You just go on Quora like, I brought my horse to water, but it won't drink. What's going on?
Yeah.
What do I?
Yeah, but it won't.
No, I love that I learned. I feel like I learned that I don't know quotes, and this is I feel like I really learned. Not only did I learn just from you, fucking very educated, fine gentlemen. I also learned. Damn, I can't recall quotes at all.
Welcome back to the.
I'm not good at that either.
I can't recall whole memories with my girlfriend. She'll be like, we went to a show, this specific thing happened. I'm like, ooh, that's a black abyss in my mind. Oof. Last 10 years, a lot of pot.
No, what's funny is, oh my god, I haven't done podcasts in forever, but I fuck with y'all. I'm like, I'll do that podcast for real. The only because I don't do podcasts because I don't know how to do podcasts. I just go on there.
That's hilarious.
And then just do a stream of consciousness and then walk back and be like, yo, I unleashed a repressed memory on that podcast.
You're going to have like Equus dreams of a horse
get
tonight.
into it.
Yo, a memory I haven't had in 32 years.
This podcast in therapy is like a very close
no,
Venn
yeah.
diagram.
The
shit that comes out in therapy and the shit that comes out in
100%.
Jaded.
Dog.
100%. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Yeah.
He remembered his parents saying media privileges with a pinching mid-pod.
We're taking away your media privilege.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to be like,
Yeah.
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 go on.
No,
You can't read the New York Times.
You are the biggest link.
Your parents it sounds like you had good parents. My parents took away a door.
That happened with me too.
Door privileges.
Yeah, we lost the door. We lost the door.
Oh, for some reason I thought I said that on the podcast. Like
No, that was
before.
once again the funny shit you were saying before.
right.
No, my brother. I used to live with my dad and my brother when I was 16. He took us both in, and we would get in punishment. Whenever my brother did something, we'd both be punished because we stayed in the same room. So my dad, he would just take away shit from us. He took away the door. Like, he literally just would unscrew the door, put it in his room. He'd take the microwave, put it in his room. Literally detach the fridge from the, like, piping of the fucking where it's supposed to be and have his nigga drag it in the room. And... yeah, it just
No, we both had fucked up parents. Let's just be clear.
Hearing your parents say he took away media privileges. Oh, that reminds me. My dad took away door privileges and shit. But
No, but we also
that was
the
just
door
one
was
example.
also lost at a certain point in time.
Door privileges are
Shit.
they fluctuate.
My parents were nice to me. Y'all got fucked up lives.
yeah, my dad wouldn't. He wouldn't hit us, but he would like psychologically torture. Yeah, sorry.
I got both.
Repressed
both.
memory. You remember that repressed memory thing? That's
You never had your dad like tell you he's gonna beat your ass, and when we get home and not do it right away.
Oh man,
the premeditated shit.
No, that's fucking.
No, bro, that's.
I would talk shit because I didn't know my dad for a long time. I didn't know him like. I didn't see him for 13 to 16 years or something like that. And I saw him when I was 13, and then I didn't see him again until I was like 15 to 16. And so he never punished me. I was always punished by my mom. And so I got away with tons of fuck shit. I was not a good. I was a degenerate child. Like you just too much freedom and creativity and just being bad will. So I never had those good parental. The problem, I will say,
discipline.
But what comes in with not having
discipline.
Did y'all have both parents?
Yeah, in different houses.
So, I feel like I wasn't able to get fucking. I'm learning everything on my own, like vitamins, fucking the smallest shit. I feel like I have to learn literally everything. Having a mom who was working and just growing up by yourself, you don't realize what the fuck exactly. You have to build myself, like legit, build myself. So it just hearing it's all. I think that's something I'm coming to a realization about myself. Like as of like this week, I was like, I really had to like learn meditation on my own. Somebody brought that in my life. I had to learn to drink water. I had to learn vitamins. I was literally.
Ever heard the song "On Our Own" by Bobby Brown?
Hell no. That's just
Well, I guess we're gonna have to take control.
Is this a fuck song?
Nah, it was for the Ghostbusters and two.
I'm like, so yes. Like, yeah, man, I really was struggling with everything that I've been going through. And like, you ever heard this Ghostbusters theme song?
It's related though. It's related. The song's called "On Our Own."
You should listen to.
I was gonna make the joke that it makes sense why I feel like you vibe with so much of the shit we're talking about anyways, you know, about like us just in a macro social sense of us just like doing our own thing like together, you know?
Absolutely.
It makes sense.
Because you immediately, when you're on your own, I feel like, well, like literally it felt like I was had an adventurous childhood because I just got to go outside and my mom was working 2 jobs all the time. So yeah, it was literally like combination of already having like not a I don't want to say it wasn't anarchy, but it was just like this crazy freedom. Like you could do anything you want as a kid, and in combination with for some reason having these strange realizations like why do we need money? What literally like at 13 being like it should be just couldn't comprehend. Shouldn't things? Why do we need money? It's not. We shouldn't have to have money. And literally, it was like I feel like those were the seeds. And then going to Memphis, meeting my dad's side of the family, and then realizing, these niggas they're not part of the government. They're black Muslim, black Israelite Muslim niggas who they already feel they still have a deep connection of blackness. Like they feel like my family still feels like they've been kidnapped from Africa, and so going over into that vibe, I feel like definitely helped fuel me being just like, I don't, fuck authority, fuck this shit, and then going to college and becoming more, reading and learning about what exactly is the system.
You already felt like it wasn't legitimate.
Yeah, I think that's like, shouldn't everybody have
no, that's extremely
something's
important.
wrong. Something's
extremely
fucking wrong.
important.
Yeah, that something wrong feeling.
It's actually easier now than it was, let's say, 10, 15 years ago for a lot of people because shit is just corroding so fast.
You can't ignore it.
And the incompetence, quote unquote, is like so clear that it's like, how could you? How could you still believe in America? How could you still believe in this project, this settler colonial project?
If working for my job, nobody needs to tell me nothing to make me any more not believe in this shit. But working for my job, doing what I do on a day in, a day basis, day in, day out, literally having to keep up. I have to keep up with our politicians. I have to keep up with all the stuff that, like, I don't have to, but it just naturally has happened because I work for a political show. And now I'm like, I know what's happening. I know the players, and they're playing corrupt. I have enough knowledge to where I can see the rules, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is exactly how they're getting away with it in front of us. And then seeing society not care, and where we do care, where they are, like, we're revolutionary, the peak resistance niggas, it's fake. It makes you go,
it's theater,
it's an aesthetic.
Literally, the only thing that matters is this. It's us being in the same room. It's this the only thing I believe in.
Right.
I have to be in the same room, because if I see you on in any media platform, I lose. There's a degree of like, oh, this is an image, and this is, I don't know how real this is.
What's it connected to? Right.
Yeah,
it's always that question. Right. Yeah.
The only thing that's real to me is like what's in front of me, the people in front of me who are actively doing something.
Right.
Because the rest of it just feels. I mean, it's not feels. I know it's fake. I know it is. I watch it. I watch how all this feels controlled, and how I definitely think culture is, from culture to society. I'm like, I'm deep in the back of my mind, like, I don't believe in none of this, and I don't even care to participate in any of this. I have so deeply disassociated, because it is community that makes me come back and be like, okay, I believe in this. I'll pour energy into this.
Right.
Everything else makes me disassociate, and I like to just sit in my room and be by myself, and be the only real thing I have, the only thing that I can trust. It's just is what I occupy my time with, is just trying to understand who I am, and because trying to participate with this shit.
Dog, you realize that there are
like that. Yeah.
Literally what I was just, you realize there are what you just communicate as millions of people, and young people in particular, what you just said.
Because there's nothing.
Millions of
that's
people.
what it is.
It has to be. I can't be the only person to feel. I feel crazy.
But at the same time, what's crazy is that isolation also makes those millions of people more self-aware than ever in like history.
Right.
Like it's an opportunity also at the same time.
That's my thing. That's my thing.
Like like all this mindfulness and mental health shit that we talk about, we're all fucking separate, and there's no structure or like actual communal spirit. But individually, we're all getting really good at being aware of how being a person, what that is, and what that's like, and you know.
I wanted to say, because it's not just you that's feeling that is the opportunity. That is the in my mind.
No, you're right.
I every time we're doing this, I want to just like look in the cameras and be like, okay, who else? You
come, you too.
Like Fred Rogers,
even you
like,
at home,
right? Yeah, exactly. the listeners at home,
don't touch your dial. We're talking to you,
right? Nah, but for real, it's like, and just the other night we were just like tap in, like, dog. I don't know what you do or what you want to do. But if you get what we're saying, and you're in, at least maybe one day we can get to this critical mass number where we can look at the data and go, okay, so there are 20 million people that are ready to do so. I mean, we'd only need 3 million people really to have a considerable impact in North America. I don't know where I'm getting that number from, but I got it from somewhere.
Well, like 330 million Americans. That's like one.
I think I was looking at some. People were putting out some hypothetical number for a revolution or a change or something. I don't know what the fuck I'm referencing with that number. But regardless, you have enough people.
Yeah, critical mass.
A critical mass that are just like, we're ready to try some other shit and like cooperate. No bosses, no landlords.
Right.
And we're centering what we want to do and our needs, and not on some funky, we're going to live in shacks type shit, you know, like Hoover Towns. We're going to try and actually live comfortably and well.
You can do that with that, and I think that's like one of the big things that people don't realize whenever they speak of like, when we speak of like community and shit and share, they all think of the worst. They think of starving.
USSR.
No, bitch, we can live in abundance, and everybody can be taken care of. Everybody can feel safe.
Right, and if you already got a crib, keep it. Yeah, that's you. If you're using the crib, it's different if you got a whole ass building.
No one's saying you have to live in a shack or derelict buildings at all, or not have like your own personal space.
Your own personal space, right?
You can. We're just talking about having basic safety,
covering the base,
and being able to live without that looming fear,
that threat of like
fuck it. If I lose this job, I can't eat.
I'm gonna die.
Right.
I'm gonna die, nigga. I will hunt a human before I will go back to hunter-gatherer, nigga. What the fuck? What if I do that? It's crazy that we built. It's either work or die.
Right.
There's only this is how the human condition. No, it's not.
Right.
You're lying. This ain't no fucking.
I also just believe people are ready for this. I've kind of come to that space where I'm like, this is, this is some dark shit, and usually when shit gets this fucking bad, enough people are willing to activate. I really do think this is a hugely opportunistic time in a good way.
Do you remember in the pandemic? Like, did you ever go to parks during the pandemic? Like, we're still in the fucking...
Yeah.
Do you remember when Trump lost, the day Trump lost, like when it was official, not when he...
So funny, I was in like the Catskills, so I totally missed the fever.
My God. Yeah. I was in Prospect Park the day, like not the day he lost, not the day that Biden won, the day that Trump lost, when it was like, it's official. This is, you lost the election. I was in Prospect Park. The energy and I couldn't even describe it. It was a community. Everybody was like, oh my God. When you feel a park's worth of people just exuberant joy. To me, I was like, oh, this is the energy. This is the community energy we're seeking. It exists. It's right here. Even though it's like this bullshit, we're all like celebrating.
Celebrating being able to go back and pretend nothing happened.
Yeah, fucking back to brunch shit. But the pandemic.
That's because there's no rod to catch that lightning. You got to build that rod.
Right.
Don't even get me started on my conspiracies. I feel like we had that lightning. We had it. Those like the protests, the 2020 protests, the energy there that carried us. That was there. That was like actual revolutionary energy. Then that shit got fucking. As soon as you saw the donations for BLM come out, and then you click it and it goes to Act Blue, that's where all that energy, all our fucking fervent energy of like, we need to donate to jail funds, we need to get people out, donate, let's do this. My mom was doing shit. All that stuff, that energy got donated into a Democratic fucking coffer. For Joe Biden. And one thing people don't talk about is, which I feel like people are going to talk about it soon, all that money for BLM, they got donated, hundreds of millions. Of course, it's being talked about how the BLM CEO is like bought houses. She's obviously scam. That's one thing. What I don't think it's talked about is the big 2 news stories of us sending money during those protests, the massive amount of money that got sent. And at the same time, Joe Biden literally, he going from struggling getting funding from 1 week, and then like the next week, Joe Biden was the biggest funded candidate by like double digits in the Democratic Party, because he was competing against Donald Trump, who had infinite money, and none of the Democratic candidates had that kind of resources like that. Cut to BLM protests. Donate money. Donate via Act BLM, which is Act Blue, which is Democratic coffers, super PAC money, and we're today asking, where's all that money for BLM? It was way more than they used the number 90 million, way more than 90 million. The whole country was up donating money. And you want to talk about, I feel like we watched a revolution, like I don't want to call it a revolution, but it was the closest thing to revolutionary spirit we had in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas was in the streets. They funneled that and gave us Biden.
And so my whole thing is, before the next one,
That's what I'm saying.
why don't we have a program and an idea about what we can do with our collective resources that has something to do with our labor, housing, land, food, and getting rid of bosses and landlords, rather living without bosses and landlords.
Right.
Yeah.
If people want to choose to subject themselves to landlords and bosses, by all means, go ahead and do that.
Right.
But are there enough of us out here who can come together and create a space in the cracks and crevices to where we can live without that? 100%.
Yeah.
How many of us are there? Let's figure that out, and then let's come up with the plan so we can start building that. That's my whole thing.
Yeah.
You know? And like also, whatever your industrial context is, start thinking about it even in terms of industry. You know, wherever you're at, like how many people how many people know that they're more competent than their bosses? That they know more, that they're more skilled. Why don't all of y'all get together and try and figure out how you can do the same thing, but without a boss dynamic at all? Right. You still have people that maybe they have more authority or take on more responsibility. Maybe they even get paid more. But y'all decide that together yourselves democratically. Yeah. You decide the conditions.
It's either we get rid of hierarchy and get rid of bosses, or I will propose another solution. Every year, the CEO of a company has to fight the strongest employee in hand-to-hand combat by death. And the winner
Gladiator
becomes the CEO.
style.
That's the only other. Those are the two options.
You know how many CEOs would sign up for that?
I know. They would love
pieces
kill
of
a
shit?
poor person? Sign me.
Well, just the narcissism of I can take on anyone in my company. I am the alpha. That's why I'm the boss.
Fuck, I would love to scalp a CEO.
And also, like, if you're rich, and you have any belief in this, you should be asking yourself why you're not building shit like this anyways.
Right.
If you've got shit to fork over.
Yeah.
Right. And
100%.
consulting with the people that are ready for it.
My God.
And like,
even if it's not us, there's just there's just shit out there.
Imagine these billionaires are egomaniacs. They want to be remembered. They want to be like remembered in history, like fucking Ramses.
That's my thing. I've been talking about this for years.
Hey, I don't give a fuck if you're remembered in history. You want to be remembered in history?
Do this shit.
Do the fuck.
We'll remember you, nigga.
Do this
you
shit.
can be the great nigga.
Do this
You
shit.
can be the great one.
Do this shit.
Yeah,
I gave billions of dollars and it changed the whole world, and the human species continued.
And you could
reverberate
die with
throughout.
$1 billion still.
Yeah,
Right.
literally.
Right.
Literally. There's no way you can spend all. I'm sorry. No, but there's no way you can spend all that money. That's fucking.
Right.
It's crazy.
Put $269 billion into a dual power
You
project.
could fucking
still
Tom
live
Cruise
comfortably.
helicopter every day for the rest of your life.
Damn.
And everyone could.
Every day is
help.
Tom Cruise's birthday.
Yeah.
Wait, he's literally choosing twinks to fucking. Or are you just joking?
No,
No, that's
it was
the-
specifically mentioned twinks. Because think about it, Tom Cruise, very small, and also twinks can run faster, bigger challenge. Bears probably slow, out of breath.
What chapter of Dianetics is this? I'm like, what the fuck?
It probably is. Fuck. Now you're
That's
really
probably-
drawing the.
that's
Now
probably-
it's like,
that's
damn,
a
is it the
high-ass-
Scientology prisoners that are like,
Right.
That's gotta be a high ass Thetan level to find that shit
Yeah.
out, bro.
Yeah.
holy shit.
Damn, hang on. That's some shit. He should film that. Put it up. Mission Impossible.
Yeah, documentary.
It's very Squid Game vibes.
Yeah.
Twink
definitely.
Hunt. Twink Hunt now on
Hunger Games
Netflix.
shit.
I'm definitely gonna be Googling.
It's funny
it.
I found this rumor right before they greenlit the second season. That's very interesting.
Man.
Oh my god.
Man, dog.
What an app. Everyone go donate to the Open Collective. God damn it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Go to-
please support if you can afford it.
And if not, subscribe, spread the word, especially to your rich friends. Let's build this shit. It's not about us. It's not about us.
When you say it's not about us, I'm like, it sounds like it's about them. It sounds like it's about.
It's about
them.
all of us.
It is about all.
You
of
know.
us.
You know what they say.
Fuck that. It is about us. It's some
Yeah.
selfish
Let's
shit.
plant
We can
us
spread
in
around.
so to
Yeah.
We can
speak.
spread around the selfish nature of it. Spread it around.
If they build it, I will come.
Yeah.
Literally.
You got to build it, though.
If y'all
nigga.
build it, I'm gonna be in the back just coming.
If we start
the CEO of
you gotta help us keep building so they will come.
that's the CEO of Hitachi. If we build it, they will come.
Oh, don't give them that freebie. Don't give them that. We're gonna use that
I was
now.
gonna say that's like the motto of Fleshlight.
Yeah.
You build them,
Dog,
they
their
will
whole
Yo.
campaign is about to be that.
Dog,
now.
we got
You kidding
editing
me?
power. Come on, bro.
Until you get a
fucking
sponsorship,
TVs and shit.
Yo.
that's a great sponsor. If there's one, out of all the people you gotta work with to help sponsor, Hitachi Magic Wand.
Hitachi, we'll edit that last bit out. Hitachi, hit me up on IG at Professor. We can work together. I have something.
Put a big vibe.
We can build. We can build together. We can make them better, faster, stronger.
Thank you for coming, by the way.
No, thanks
you,
for
Ashton.
no, thank you.
We'd love you
This is a
to
great-
come on again and
No, listen,
do this again.
I will go to therapy first. Get out everything I need to there before I come here. But I will
Bring us your discoveries.
whatever. I don't ever want to. I've never been more insecure by what's in my mind until this moment, right? But no, you guys are fucking awesome. I love you niggas. There's nothing more to be said than this is perfect, beautiful energy, vibes. Exactly what you guys need to be doing. Exactly what we need to be doing.
Right.
Thank y'all for fucking doing this because really it takes someone physically doing it.
Yeah.
Niggas can have all the hopes, dreams, ideas,
right.
and it'll never get done,
Right.
until somebody actually does.
Starts doing it.
Right.
So literally, God bless you guys. Like, thank you. Also, nigga, had a blast. Just very fun time. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll have another one soon.
Yeah.
Hey, love you, dog.
Yes, much love.
See,
We do a clap on after 3, as Yedoye describes it.
It's not on the 4. It's after 3.
Right.
so 3.5.
There's no
See,
three.
it's
There's
the
no
invisible
4.
four.
There's no
Think
4.
about it as the invisible 4.
Yeah. Think about just imagine.
It's like if the invisible girl from Fantastic Four was all 4.
Okay. So,
All right.
like, I'm gonna.
All right, James.
That,
The giant piece.
that Connor, you really
that
fell.
was a little dirty.
That Connor really fell off after the first 5 episodes.
Let me sing Randy Newman to myself in this corner.
That I used to love that Moschino guy, and it just really started to get a little.
Oh, man.
I gotta tell a story about that too, because that's not that. Okay, I got that from somebody. That's not me. I'm impersonating someone.
All right. Well,
Okay, so we're gonna go to 3. After
it'll
that,
be 1, 2,
after that-
3.
He's making it
No
more
guidance.
confusing.
I'm definitely
After that,
This
yeah,
happens
after
every
that-
one.
It's literally like 1, 2,
I'm gonna clap
3.
on the 2.
It's 1, 2, 3, clap.
Okay.
Invisible 4.
You just got to know that after the 3.
He's
Oh
making
my
it more
God.
complicated.
I love this bit.
1, 2, 3. Done.
Oh,
That's gonna be it. No, that's
That
gonna
was
be
a
it.
false alarm.
That was
No, he
that was
got it.
no,
He
but
got
that was
it.
a
Y'all
false
are
start.
making it.
That was
They're
a
trying to
false
get
start,
in your
though.
mind, nigga.
No.
They're trying to literally fuck with
No, he
you.
thought that was the real sync
I
clap.
just
What
need
you
you
just
to
did.
know.
And that we
No, I was making that the real thing. We understood. We understood.
But he leads. How is that possible?
I was just warning you.
We don't
I'm not
have
gonna-
leaders.
sounds like we already did the-
He's our leader.
Okay, but now we got to sync up this part. Now we got to sync up this part of the audio so that
All right,
part
I'm doing it. 1, 2, 3.